Reincarnated, I'm a stargazer. Life goes on, honey, the hallmark babies. Looking for the broccoli. I keep a horn on me, that come my seat. I keep ownership, the blueprint is by me. Never get off, I get off at my feet. Like you nigga couldn't try me in a tri-state. Money pass that I give a splash. Down south, know me spook town, eyes violated. I got the money and the power, won't gyrate. I look good, get the fuck out my face. Look good, but she don't got no ties. I walked in, walked out with the side.
And let me take this off. I don't know. Let's see here. There we go. How's everybody? I hope I'm on. Let me. I don't know if I'm muted or not, so I just went ahead and brought you up.
Yeah, we can hear you. You good.
Okay, fabulous. This mess. All right. How's everybody doing today? Hey, B. Blanco. Hey, Tammy Lynn. I don't know if you're still in here or not. Welcome, everyone. How is everybody doing? How are you doing, Big Head?
Hey, I'm just hanging in there, taking it one day at a time.
So, how about I was on Instagram, and it was a reel of it was captioned Black people when ICE starts taking Black people, right? And so there was a white lady that answered the door. The Black person was in the closet. So the guy came in and said, we just want to, look around and see, what we can see. If you have any Black people here. And so he went to the kitchen. He was like, spices? And she said, oh, no, those were just here when I moved in. So he goes in the bathroom. He said, is this a wash rag? She's like, no, it's not a wash rag. I use that to wash the soap, the sink. I use soap and water in my hand. He said, okay, that's good. So then he goes and he's walking out, and then he sees a fork that's on the paper on the counter. And he's like, And then he said, God is good all the time. God is good all the time. So the dude's in the closet holding his mouth, and he's like, God is good all the time. And then the dude goes, and what's the thing? It's God's
And
good.
all the time, God is good. Come on.
That's it. Yeah, and all the time, God is good. Come on. I was hollering, hey Mojo, hey Mr. Nuff.
Said that shows y'all who really need some Jesus in their life around here. You know what I'm saying? That was the funny Candace Owen video where they was testing her blackness. And that's how you test somebody's blackness right there. You say God is good and let them finish it. If they can't finish it properly, they ain't black for real.
Yeah, God is good all the time.
Yeah, and all the time, God is good.
And for those who are here, please make sure y'all join me tomorrow night when I have my Blast to the Past live/costume party. Anybody's welcome to come and get up on the panel. I will be in costume. So I just wanted to just throw that out there. I'll be putting out an ad or a invite for that. But anywho's, y'all know that I'm sad because Halloween's tomorrow, and it's my favorite part of the year. And so,
why would you be sad if it's your favorite part of the year coming?
Because it's gonna be over.
It's like enjoy it while it's here. You got to enjoy it while it's here.
I want to enjoy it and have it. Why do y'all get to have Christmas for 2 months, but I can't have Halloween for the whole 31 days? It'll be 7:30. Benny B. Blanco. That just seems like that's a good time. 7:30 CST. All right. Well, anyway, so since the sadness is upon me, and I still want to enjoy spooky season, so I wanted to have like a retrospective of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, the good, the bad, and the unwatchable. And that would be the one where the guy that played Rorschach was Freddy.
That's the remake.
Yeah, yeah.
I I didn't think that one was unwatchable. Now I think like Dream Child is unwatchable, but
Dream Child is we gonna get there. We gonna get there.
hmm
All right. So just a little. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows the plot of Nightmare on Elm Street, um, but y'all know that the Nightmare on Elm Street is it's a franchise by Wes Craven, and it's a supernatural slasher, and it's had 9 films. And of course, when you go to 9 and 10, we doing too much. And it's got, television series, novels, and other media. Quick rundown of the plot. The Tina, which is the cute blonde in the beginning, has a terrible nightmare, and a disfigured man, we know who he was back then, is wearing bladed gloves, and he's attacking her in a boiler room, and she wakes up and sweat, and she's got rips in her nightgown, and her mom says, "Oh, you need to be more careful." Da 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 da. Y'all remember my girl Nancy, aka Nancy,
the final
Heather,
girl for
the,
the series.
she's the best final girl.
hmm
But Tina's afraid of sleeping because she's having nightmares, so she invited a very young and sexy Johnny Depp and Heather,
hmm
not Heather. God, what's her name? Nancy. You need to help me
No,
here.
I told you once before. I'm terrible with names. Now I can pull up some Wikipedias or something, so I can just throw out some stuff on the side. But you actually the wrong. Once again, you know what I'm saying? It's the final girl, her boyfriend, the other girl, and her boyfriend, and that's about it.
Okay, so Tina wanted some friends over to help her because her mom's out of town with her boyfriend. So um, while Glenn and that's my boy Glenn, were there. The
Yeah, that was
friend,
Johnny Depp's guy.
yeah, sexy Dell.
Yeah.
So a friend named Rod comes by. No, it's not a suicide jersey mojo. By the way, even though I am not going to be talking or focus on suicide jersey, there will be some of that included because I'm talking about Nature Boy. Anywho, so Rod comes in, and that's Tina's boyfriend. They have wild, passionate sex. They fall asleep. Then she is skewered from ear to ear. And they had that beautiful scene where she was drug up on the wall, was being stabbed.
hmm Now, one thing
Oh,
I will say, since you looking around and stuff, is that like, yeah, just somebody who's had sex while other people in the room, like they were like obnoxiously loud with it. You know what I'm saying? I know this is one of those things like, hey,
oh,
it's a movie and we got to
come here,
make stuff
Munchkin.
happen. But
Come here,
yo,
Munchkin.
man, y'all were just going at it, and they were just yelling at all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Real people don't have sex like that when you know that somebody's in the other room. You know, maybe every now and again a nice little scream come out, but you know what I'm saying? They was going at it like ain't nobody in the next block or
Yeah. Yep. Here's Munchkin. He's got on his Halloween onesie.
two. He's in the spirit. Yeah.
The spirit of Halloween. Oh, you dropped your thing. All right, but anyway, let's get back to what's the dumbass. Yeah, they were having. Wait a minute, you said that you've had sex in the room with people?
I've told I've told that story before about being walked in on. So yes, obviously there were people in the other room that walked in on us while we were doing it. So once again, I'm pretty sure the internet don't want to hear that story. You know what I'm saying?
One day I'm gonna let
But
you come and tell.
but the internet, I just want y'all to know that hey, I have had sex before, and I've had sex with other people in the other room. You know what I'm saying? So you can put that on some of your mic lore. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people that are taking notes.
We'll say that for December the something, because y'all will be getting
Uh-huh.
invites shortly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they had a lot of loud, unreasonably loud sex. And what's his name? Rod sees her, slashed, but of course he's in the room by himself. So of course he's the head suspect. So the next day, the police officer dad set Nancy up so they could be bait to catch Rod because he was, running around the neighborhood with no shoes on. And
Mm-hmm.
so Nancy falls asleep in class and she gets attacked by Freddie and she has this big bruise. And but anyway, at the end of the day, everybody dies,
Yeah.
and yeah, everybody dies except for Nancy.
Yeah.
And the ending of the everybody dies but Nancy was great too.
Yeah. Now I will say, like going back and watching these older movies, like I said, it gives you a different perspective on these movies. Because I didn't realize how bad the acting in the first movie was. Man, they was I don't know what kind of lines they were trying to spit out, but man, it just seemed like either everybody was drunk or high, or they really ain't slept for real. Because like I said, Nancy was like, I know like the mom was supposed to be zoned out because she's supposed to be
Yeah,
an
mom was drunk.
alcoholic. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's supposed to be an alcoholic. But shoot, the way that Nancy was delivering them lines, it was like, whoa! Did y'all just find her off the street at the
We
time?
Well, I don't know if the girl that played Nancy, I don't know if she was on that show. Um, 'Cause she was on a syndicated show back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. I don't remember the name of the show, but I don't know if she had started working on the show first and then got the nightmare or
Mm-hmm.
what. So maybe her acting chops was not up to par as of yet.
Well, also, like I said, I did watch a bunch of them, and like you see that the quality of acting does go up per movie. But like this first movie, it's like whoa. Like I said, I ain't seen acting this bad in like forever. You know what I'm saying? Like I do not remember that acting being that bad. You know.
Well, I mean, who was really bad as an actor in the movie to you?
Ever Nancy is first and foremost. Like, go back and watch some of the way she delivered those lines. It looked like she's either out of it, you know what I'm saying, or almost like she didn't know her lines and somebody's telling her lines from off the side of the set or something like that. But yo, like Nancy is just she's just out of it. She just seemed like she was out of it. Like I said, maybe she was drunk or high or what, but woo, them line deliveries was a little rough, that girl.
Well, Johnny Depp, he did decently
Yeah, he
as a
did
as
decently,
a
but
new up and comer, but I mean, but
yeah.
he was so freaking beautiful too.
Yeah,
Woo,
before he started.
that was a fine white man. That was a fine white man.
Uh-huh. But now I will say another thing about the movie is that like there is a very huge lack of Freddy's presence throughout the whole movie. Like a
That's
lot
true.
of those people get killed and you don't see Freddy like anywhere close. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the first girl, she gets killed and he's invisible. You know what I'm saying? You have what was Lane what was her boyfriend?
Glenn.
He gets choked out by a bed sheet. Uh,
No,
you know what I'm
oh,
saying?
that was Rod that got choked out by the bed sheet.
Yeah, he got choked out by the bed sheet. Johnny Depp gets sucked down into the bed and
That's the
blood
best.
spit out.
That is the best death in this movie.
I
Is
give it to you.
when
I
that
give that
blood
to you.
just shot up onto the ceiling, and
Hmm.
I loved it that it pooled up there and then it fell.
Yeah, and then it starts dripping down, and
It
then
starts
like
dripping.
everybody's like, so like, how do you comprehend that? Like, just imagine that happened in real life. Like, how do you comprehend? Like, yeah, your whole ceiling is just blood filled and just dripping all over the place. It's like, I didn't know a person had this much blood and
That's what I
guts in them
said. How'd you have this much
whatsoever.
blood?
Yeah, how can somebody have that much blood in them? You know
That
what
was
I'm
such a
saying?
great. That was a great death, though.
Yeah, but like I said, you don't hardly see Freddie at all, and like I said, he doesn't really, because he didn't really come into his own until the third movie. But the first movie, you barely see him. And like I said, the kills that you do see, he's not really involved in them. So like, he just kind of shows up at the end to be sort of like the boogeyman or whatever. But
Hmm.
I'm saying, you barely see any Fred.
But
I'm
it was
like,
it was enough Freddie though for everybody to like. We want more of this.
yeah, yeah, and like I said, I know that the slasher thing was hot at the time, so of course you're gonna see a lot more Freddy. But like I said, he doesn't come into his own till like the third movie anyway. But
Hmm.
but yeah, like there is a shockingly lack of, and it's one of those things like in your head, you thought he was there the whole entire time,
Hmm.
until you go back and watch the movie, and you be like, man, he's barely in this thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah,
But this has been called one of the greatest horror movies ever made.
I give them that. I give them that. I mean, like I said, these scary franchise, these slasher franchises, they're popular for a reason. Uh, like I said, Nightmare was a good movie at the time. What I'm saying, Friday 13th, of course, is even
Mhm.
Halloween. The first Halloween at the time was a good movie. So
It
what I'm
still
saying.
holds up.
Yeah, they still hold up. And you can see why they became like huge franchises going forward. But there's a lot of them that came out that just didn't make it. Like I was thinking about I don't even remember the name of it. But remember that was like this horror franchise where it was like this old guy and he had like this ball that he like released and it would like hit somebody in the head and like drill the brains out or something like that, and they made
Uh-uh.
like a whole bunch of those movies. It was like a somewhat big franchise at the time, but like, yeah, that didn't survive. You
Hmm. Well, according to Wikipedia,
hmm
Nightmare contained a lot of biographical elements of his own childhood.
Uh-huh.
So it was the
But
film
of
was
Wes
inspired
Craven.
by, yeah, that's what I said, right? Wes Craven.
Well, you just said him, so I didn't know who.
Oh, I see. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So the film was inspired by several newspaper articles in the LA Times in the 70s about some refugees who, after fleeing the US because of war and genocide in Laos,
hmm
Laos,
Laos.
Laos, okay, Cambodia and Vietnam, suffered disturbing nightmares, refused to sleep, and some of the men died in their sleep soon after. So,
hmm
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Well, like I
right.
say, overall, pretty good movie. It's a, it's
Mm-hmm.
a, it's a, it's a, it's an iconic movie for a reason. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yes. All right, and
hmm
we can touch on the second one real quick, I guess.
You gonna
Uh,
do a recap, or you want to just talk about it away?
I mean, I'll do a quick.
hmm
Okay, I'm gonna have to actually read the plot from Wikipedia.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'll go into my thing. You don't necessarily have to do a recap because I know when we originally talked about this, we only talked about doing 1 and 3. So what I'm saying. But I was thinking about it like, man, I don't know how much we could squeeze out of just 1 and 3. So I'm gonna watch as much as I can so I can, at least have something to talk about. But yeah, the second movie. kind of like going back to what I said the first one is that like Freddie doesn't come into his own until the third movie. Like everything that you know about Freddie now doesn't really happen until the third movie. So like in the first movie, you don't hardly see Freddie at all. He doesn't hardly say anything. He hardly ever appears. He's just basically a boogeyman. And then in the second movie, they're kind of doubling down on this. Is that like, yeah, he's kind of like a boogeyman. Like and one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't like this second one is because it kind of like is lore breaking. Because like in the second one, it's a whole thing of him trying to cross over into the real world. And
Mm-hmm.
so the thing is that the whole, oh, if you go to sleep you'll have a nightmare and he can jump into your nightmare, kind of doesn't exist, because he's like just doing stuff
He's
in the regular
possessing.
world.
He's
Yeah, he's
possessing.
trying to possess a dude. So like he's doing stuff in the regular world without anybody having to go to sleep at all. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Uh I know, I understand that's why a lot of people don't really like the second movie, or they don't like consider it like a canon type movie, because it goes against everything else that the other movies were trying to do. Because the other
Mm-hmm.
movies was like Freddy can't really do anything to you till you go to sleep, and it's like no, in this one, and I think it was because they just really didn't know how they really wanted to do him. They was kind in the, like in the second movie, it feels like he was just going to be like a generic boogeyman, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you know what I'm saying, when you least expect it, Freddy's gonna pop up. So they didn't have any really rules established on what he can and can't do. So he's doing stuff in two that he can't do in any other movie.
Oh, there's Munchkin. All right. Well, just real quick, what we're talking about is after the defeat with Freddie in the first movie, the Walsh family moves into Nancy's old house. And so they have a son named Jesse who sleeps in Nancy's old room. And they found Nancy's diary in the room detailing her nightmares. And the nightmares are very similar to his. And so then the rest of the movie is Jesse being in homoerotic situations that make no logical sense. Like there was a scene where they were in the
And
shower,
shower.
and
Where he was spanking that
and
ass.
was spanking, yes, was spanking the dude's the what's his name, the coach's ass in the shower. Like you got him hemmed up like this, and then have they pull his pants down. We get to see bare ass.
Hmm.
Why? Why?
Because that's what the also highly disappointed, because like going back and watching the movies, you realize, hey man, there ain't no titties in the first two movies. I was highly disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Titties don't come out until the third one, and even then it's like they only had like a one titty quota for each movie. I was highly disappointed. Highly disappointed in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Like I said, Friday 13th had titties off the jump, and they kept them titties out as long as they possibly could. So, you know what I'm saying? Once again,
Halloween
greatest
had him out too.
greatest franchise of all time.
What Halloween? Oh no, you
No,
said not
Friday.
Friday 13th.
Yeah, yeah. Because they had the titties out and they stayed out. So, you know what I'm saying? Once again, point for Friday the 13th.
Well, let me ask you this: would you consider how you said that this movie, this franchise, Freddy did not come into his own until the third one? Would it be sort of analogous to like Hellraiser, where Pinhead didn't come into his own until what the third one?
No, because like I said, Pinhead is such a different thing, because like technically Pinhead isn't really like the villain. Like he's not causing anything to happen. He's just sort of existing while things are happening. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the whole thing of like, well, I won't use that example, but like, because like I said, the whole thing is that like he's not forcing people to do bad things. They're just doing the bad things on their own, and he's just sort of reaping the benefits of it, right?
Hmm.
Am I remembering those movies correctly? Because like I said, he's not forcing anybody to fuck with the box. They just fuck with the
No,
box. And so, like I
right.
said, now they fuck with the box. Now he got to get involved with them. You know.
But think about this, like in the later straight to direct to movie, home movie
Hmm.
movies, there wasn't necessarily a box. Maybe it was a box, but it wasn't actively being used, and Pinhead just pops up.
Or like I
Hey,
said,
Daniel, wasn't it Daniel Berry Sports Highlights?
yeah. So like I said, my memory of that franchise is very fuzzy because like I said, I know I watched the first four. I somewhat remember the first two, and because they were at least halfway decent. The rest of them, like I said, all I remember from that last one was like, yeah, that spaceship transformed into the cube, and
Yeah, that was
like
terrible.
that was the high. I think I fell asleep in that one too, but I don't know, you know. Um, but yeah, so um, like I said, the whole thing about the pinhead thing is that like, yeah, he come. I mean, he comes into his own, I guess, but he doesn't really do anything in the series. Like I said, he's just more of a hey, you did the thing, but I'm just going to reap the benefits of you doing the thing. You know.
Hmm.
He's not like a Freddy or Jason where he's sort of making the shit happen. You know what I'm saying? You fall asleep. Once you fall asleep, hey, Freddy's in control now. Or like I said, hey, you having sex on the campgrounds. Now Jason
Hmm.
got to get involved now. You know what I'm saying? But him is just sort of like, oh yeah, you fuck with the box. Well, you fuck with the box. Well, I guess I gotta do my thing now.
Well, I was meaning not really how he, how the box is manipulated. I'm just talking about like his character development. He didn't develop as Pinhead
Hmm.
until like the third one,
I
right?
guess you could sort of say that. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'll
Um,
say that you can say
okay, okay.
that.
Now back to Nightmare. And this is a section in Wikipedia called homoerotic subtext. Basically, the guy that plays Jesse, um, were calling it gay is because he was the final girl. All final
Yeah,
girls are girls, and technically Jessie was the final girl.
but now that you have Jessie as the
Hey,
final
Sasha.
girl, guess what? You can defeat Freddy Cougar with the power of love. Oh.
And, Sa- and Sasha, just in case you dip out in a minute, just letting you know, make sure you're here tomorrow night at 7:30. I'll be playing some of the old highlights from the past, and I would love for you to be here. All right, anywho's. Um, yeah, I mean, so so he was the final girl.
Hmm.
When this movie was released, it was referred to as the gayest horror film ever. So this is gayer than Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, like I said, I think if they said that's the gayest, they probably ain't watched a whole lot of movies. So
I mean, this was
yeah.
back in '85. So
Hmm.
let me see. It has become a cult classic for the LGBTQ peoples.
Hmm.
Um, the coach was in a male gay bar.
Was it? I don't think it was a male gay bar. It seemed like it was just a punk rock bar because there were
It was
women in there,
it
right?
was gay.
I thought it was like a punk rock bar because
It's
I'm
a
I'm
punk rock gay.
I'm pretty sure there were like women's and stuff in there as well. I'm once again I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, but I could have sworn there were women in that bar as well. I mean, it could have been a gay
It
bar.
was a
I don't
gay
know.
bar, and
But what is he doing in the gay bar? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
He walked up in there. So
you remember he was trying to keep himself awake, so he went to
so you go
the.
to the gay bar to keep yourself awake? You can't go
Well,
to a straight
I
bar
don't
to keep
know.
yourself awake?
Listen, I'm just telling you what had happened.
Yeah, I can't sleep tonight. I guess I need to go to the gay bar tonight.
But the coach was also in the gay bar, which is how he got caught.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, though. But like I said, I don't
Um,
think that was a gay bar. I think it was like if you think about the time, I think it was a punk rock bar.
it was
And
gay.
because I could have sworn there was women in there.
It was a gay bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
women can be gay. They're called lesbians.
I don't know. I have to see it to believe it.
Speaking of, is Wayne's booby trap still open?
No, it's not. It's closed. Because funny thing is, my mom used to be well, she still is a pastor, I guess. But one
Hey,
of the,
Vicky.
she's a pastor for the AME church, and so like they send her around to like other churches, and she had a church uh, out in Dora, and we had to go that way in order to get to the church. So yes, the booby trap is closed.
See, Wayne's booby trap is a very infamous strip club off in the sticks.
Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
And
So, but
everybody knows Wayne's booby trap
yeah,
in the
those
state.
usually be the best ones, man. You're out in the middle of nowheres. You know, you can do what you want to do at that point. You can be as rowdy as you need to be.
So for my strip club viewing pleasure, I would prefer to go to hey hey Miss Barbie, girl, make sure you come in tomorrow because I'll be going live and playing some old hits from the past. So come back tomorrow at 7:30 CST. And I'm gonna have an open panel and we can just laugh at Nature Boy and etc. Anyway,
Hmm.
what were you just saying?
We was talking about strip clubs.
Oh yeah. So my strip club would be the furnace.
Yeah, because you have bougie. See, like I said, I'm from the hood, so you know my old stomping ground was the volcano. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Gosh,
yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. A good time. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's in the Birmingham area know that the volcano is an interesting place to be.
I've never been and don't wish to go.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You might be a little bit too good to go to the volcano.
I believe I am. Okay, so then the other thing. Oh, hold on, real quick. Let me see. I'm trying to. All right, Barbara, you got your blue coat back on. Let me see. Okay, and so one of the gayest scenes in this movie was when he went over his friend's house. It looked like Slater from Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
And so they were enemies, and then they had a bonding moment out of punishment. They just got their friends. So he
Yeah.
goes and he climbs into the bedroom window of the guy, and the dude is
Uh-huh.
asleep. And he's like, you can stay here and whatnot. Then Freddie starts to, move around and shift and twist and contort in Jesse's body. And so he then transforms into Freddie and kills the friend. But
Hmm.
what was the gay thing is after the dude was carved up, bloody on the floor, Jesse goes, "You killed him. You were inside me." He came out.
Uh-huh.
He was inside me. I was inside it. I was just like, "Oh my god, no. This is so gay. This is
Yeah, I
too
think he
gay.
does say that because I remember there was something like super gay about that scene. Because I couldn't remember,
Mhm.
was he like trying to jump into bed with him as well at one
It
point
seems
or something
like
like that?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like super gay. So
And they were
not that
having
there's anything wrong with that.
right, but I mean, it was continuity. It was reality breaking because you have a jock,
Hmm.
a popular jock at that,
Yeah.
befriending the weird kid.
Hmm.
And you befriended the weird kid that day, and then the weird kid just happens to know where you live, and he knows you well enough for him to climb through your bedroom window. I think it's
Hmm.
the fucketh not. Hey, Cindy. Oh, I think it's the fucketh not. But it
Hmm.
wasn't. Um, yes, the original is, of course, is one of the best. Now the third one, we
Actually,
kind
I'm
of
saying the third one is probably the best one. I mean, the original is iconic. The third one is the best one.
The third one, it really picks it up a notch. They're adding more story into the story.
Yeah.
This is when they got their money. Wes Craven, you did good on the first one. The second one didn't lose money, but it wasn't as good as the first one, but it didn't kill anybody. So we're gonna go
Hmm.
to the third one that came out in '87, The Dream
Hmm.
Warriors. Now, may I add to everyone that when I was little, Halloween, horror movies, secular music was not allowed in my house. So, so yeah, secular music. I never heard of rap until high school.
Poor child. Poor child.
So,
Hmm.
in the third, which is called Dream Warriors. Now, Dream Warriors is such a it's a great movie. I have to say it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
So of course, Nancy's grown, she's an adult, and she's moved
Hmm.
on with her life. So there's a new final girl, and we know she's a final girl because was part of the intro.
Hmm.
Kristen, who was played by Patricia Arquette. So you knew
Yeah.
they had to have some money if they got one of the Arquettes in there.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, but it was also like, yeah, nobody knew who she was at the time. I'm pretty sure of that.
I mean, if she was an Arquette, everybody knew who she was, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, some of these other, acting families where it's like, yeah, like the real one, but sometimes you get the one that don't nobody know for real. So, they just
Mhm.
trying to get their foot in the door. So, do their best. Like, yeah.
So the girl Kristen has a nightmare, and she uh, gets her wrist slashed by Freddie, who's possessed the sink and the knobs in the sink. So the mom thinks about it. So she sends her to a mental hospital, psychiatric hospital, where she meets all these different characters, different patients, um, and Dr. Gordon. Dr.
Hmm.
Gordon was at the hospital she attending, and so Kristen was fighting the orderlies because she didn't want to be sedated, and so then she starts singing a Freddie nursery rhyme, and so Nancy, who is now a therapist, is just so has walking down the hallway and hears it. And then she goes in and she finishes the, 1, 2, he's coming for you nursery rhyme. So then Nancy gets to meet all the rest of the patients. I got to read these from Wikipedia. So yeah, Philip Anderson, who's a sleepwalker, Roland
Hmm.
Kincaid, a tough kid from the streets. Now, I
Yeah.
bet you don't know what ethnicity Roland Kincaid is by that description. Jennifer
Uh-huh.
Caulfield, which is a hopeful television actress, Will Stanton, who uses a wheelchair, and Taryn White, which is a recovering drug addict, and Joey Crusoe, who is the youngest and too traumatized to speak. So one night, Freddie attacks Kristen in her dreams, and she unwittingly pulls Nancy into her dream, allowing them to escape. So this is the first time we started with the pulling people into the dream,
Yeah,
which
because it
will
was like,
continue.
yeah, because it was like everybody sort of has a superpower now when they go into their dreams now. That
Mm-hmm.
wasn't something that they had beforehand. But like now, everybody who goes into the dream, they develop some kind of superpower
Mm-hmm.
to help, fight them, fight Freddy in the dream world.
So, do y'all want to guess Roland Kincaid, the tough kid from the streets?
Come on, they already know that's the black dude. So, but,
um, but
but,
what? But was he? What do you think his superpowers were? Like, can I get a guess of what anybody think Roland Kincaid's superpower was?
Said said he had the power of the streets. That's what
He the
he had, the
power of the
power of the streets.
streets.
Said now he was just
Well,
super strong or whatever. But I will say this: hey, I was pleasantly surprised he makes it to the end of the movie.
I was, yes, this is one of the only movies where the black kid lasts to the end.
hmm Yeah. So you got to give him points for that. That deserves some praise right there. They were
Oh,
progressive enough to let the black guy make it to the end of the movie.
all right. So B Blanco, I can't remember which one. Oh, the pool scene. That was in the second one. See, Jesse was over after he killed the AC Slater looking guy. He leaves and goes to the Beard's house. Because Jesse's gay. So the Beard's house, and she was having a pool party there. And so they were the kids were out there drinking and carrying on. So Jesse sneaks in, covered in blood, and she's like, Jesse, what's wrong? Talk to me. Let's talk. What's wrong? And Jesse's crying and carrying on. And he came out of me. You don't understand. He came out of me. He's inside me.
hmm But one other thing, going back to the second movie, is that I sort of noticed when you're watching these movies, it's like there's no real clear cut way to defeat Freddy. Like every Freddy defeat happens in like the craziest, dumbest way possible. You know what I'm saying? Like in the first one, it was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. He's burnt alive. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the way he died originally. Yeah, but in the second movie, you know what I'm saying? He gets defeated by the power of love. The girl says, "Oh, I love you," and then like he just overcomes Freddy,
That was
and
some
and
BS.
yeah, you know
Oh
what I'm
my gosh, that
saying?
was some BS.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, on to better. Okay,
hmm
so Freddie attacks Kristen in her dreams, and she pulls Nancy into her dream. So that was Kristen's superpower. She could pull people into and out of a dream.
hmm
Let me see here. So Freddie kills Philip and Jennifer. Oh yeah. So he kills Philip by the he was asleep and did the little puppet thing and was
Yeah,
having him.
like that. That was an ill kill. I had to give him that. That was an ill kill because like they had pulled the veins out of the
Mm-hmm.
dude's like arms and legs, and what I'm saying, they were like puppet strings. So like I said, you get to see these veins just getting pulled out of his skin and just being dangled above him. And so like I said, he's like sleepwalking, like because like that was one of the things that he did for coping, was that he had created these puppets and stuff in his room, and that was like his way to deal with all the trauma and stuff that he was dealing with. So when he gets killed like he was one of them little hand puppets. And I thought that was cool kill. I'm gonna give that another point to the Nightmare franchise.
Well, I like that one, and I also like the Jennifer one, but she was looking at the TV, and and
That's
so
an iconic kill, but that is kind of
it's
stupid
iconic.
though. You know what I'm saying? It's an iconic kill, but it's
What am I
really
saying?
dumb.
It's iconic though that
Uh-huh.
Freddie comes out of the TV and grabs
Yeah,
her and just pulls her in and smashes her head, and she's stuck in the TV and electrocutes.
yeah.
Great.
I think the thing that really sells it is that like even after she's dead, she's still stuck in the TV.
She's
So
stuck in the
everybody
TV.
runs into the room and it's like her half her body is just hanging out of the TV.
It was
Like I
great.
said, well, like I said, this is why I said number three is where they get, like I said, the comedy comes through. Like I said, in the other two movies, he didn't have like he didn't do all the funny one-liners. You know what I'm saying? Once again, he hardly ever spoke at all in the first two movies. And so, like I said, this is where you start to see him, they establishing who and what Freddie can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, in the Sit movie, he was doing stuff to people who were wide awake. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
he's not supposed to be able to do that, along with trying to straight up possess somebody, which is something that he wasn't supposed to be able to do. But like I said, here is where like all the stuff that you actually remember about Freddie actually, starts to take form. Like I said, he's doing the cool kills, he's having the funny one-liners, what I'm saying? He's being just a jackass all the way around, what I'm saying? He's playing with the kids most of the time, what I'm saying? Where he's almost killing them, but saying don't quite kill them. And like I said, the iconic kills start to come out.
Mm-hmm. That's a classic.
Yeah.
So Nancy reveals to the remaining patients, all the kids that are alive that's left, that they're the last of the Elm Street children, because y'all know that Freddie was well, he really technically wasn't a PDF file,
No, he
but he
was.
killed
Oh,
no, he killed kids in the
he
first
killed
one.
kids.
But he didn't become a pedo until the remake,
Yeah.
when he officially became a pedo.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so all the Elm Street parents found Freddie, set him on fire in the boiler room, and so Freddie is come back and he's attacking all of the Elm Street kids. You don't go after the parents, you go after the children's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like a lot of the parents are still alive. Like, yeah, that would have been the thing that I would go after the parents who actually set me on fire. The kids ain't did nothing wrong.
But I mean, if you a thug though, you,
I mean, I
I think
get
it
it,
would be better. It's better.
but
What
you
would
take
think
them
you be
all
more
out.
hurtful? What would be more
Mm-hmm.
hurtful? Me just killing you,
Mm-hmm.
but I hate you, right?
Yeah.
So I go ahead and I take out my girl,
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying.
your daughter,
Uh, I understand
Nunu,
that.
Nunu.
Yeah, I
So,
understand that,
so what would hurt
but
more? What would hurt more?
but also
What would hurt more?
I think it's more of a thing of like if that's my line of reasoning, I'm taking out everybody at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I start with the kids, but I'm definitely taking out the adults as well. You know what I'm saying? But it's like he doesn't even think about fucking with the adults. He's
Because
going straight for the kids.
I think maybe they go for the kids because I was a more lucid, active dreamer as a kid than I am
Hmm.
now. I'll have to have a really crazy dream, or like the TV's on and something crazy is on for me to, it's always dreams about, us being invaded by aliens, and
Hmm.
everybody's on the run in caves, and the aliens,
Yeah.
bring people French fries. It's always something really crazy.
Yeah. So. I guess so, but I'm thinking more of hey, if I'm really want some revenge, I'm going after the people who did me as well. Like
Mhm.
I'm going scorch earth. Everybody got to go at that point. Everybody, not just the kids, but the adults too, and probably people who just moved on the street. I'm still taking them out. Y'all ain't had nothing to do with it. Too bad. I'm taking
Mhm.
you out.
And so in this movie, we also get a little bit of the origin story of Freddie. So there is a nun named Sister Mary Helena who uh, who uh, um, was talking to the Dr. Neil, the guy that was the kid's doctor.
Hmm.
Um, she told him that Freddie was the son of Amanda Kruger, which was a young woman that worked in the hospital, and she was accidentally locked inside with the hundreds of mental patients over the holidays. So they R worded her continually, which caused Freddie to be born. And she said that he was the bastard son of 1,000 maniacs or something like that.
Yeah.
It was great. And so she also said that the only way to stop Freddie is to bury his bones in sacred ground.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the group, they had a group hypnosis, all the people in the school, and that's when they discover all the dream powers. I think one of them is like a wizard. Another
Yeah,
one
the
is
one in the
a
wheelchair is a wizard.
wizard.
The black dude is super strong. The final girl, she could pull people into the dreams, but she's also a gymnast. So she's doing all kinds
Yeah.
of black backflips and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And the dude who can't talk can scream real loud in the dream and do stuff.
But just so happened that particular one uh,
Hmm.
got captured. His name was Joey. He got captured, and that meant that he was comatose in the real world.
Hmm.
So Neil and Nancy asked her dad, "Hey, where are the bones hidden? Because bitch, you the one that killed him. So where is he buried at?" So
Hmm.
um, they go and try and find where the bones are hidden. Um, you know, Nancy, she got fired because all the kids, had this group hypnosis and people were dying. So naturally, she should have been terminated. But she,
Well,
but she rushes back to the hospital
well,
because
also,
Kristen's being sedated. Go
yeah, the
ahead.
logic behind her getting fired was that like they was gonna give the kids an experimental drug. And like that
Hmm.
was sort of the reasoning behind her like officially getting fired was like, hey, she should not have given these kids this experimental drug to stop them from dreaming. Because like that was what the conflict was with the other lady, was that she didn't want to give them the drug that would stop them from having dreams because I guess you didn't know what the side effects were, or they kept hinting at something like, "Yo, this is a bad drug," and that they
Hmm.
shouldn't be taking the drug. They didn't actually say what the side effects was, but everybody kept like when Nancy first mentioned this drug because it was the drug that she was on.
To
Uh,
keep her from
she,
dreaming.
yeah, to keep her from dreaming. Like she at the beginning of the movie, she drops a pill bottle, and it was that particular drug in there. So like when
Hmm.
she goes to mention and says like, "Hey, they need to get whatever the drug name was," everybody sort of freaks out like, "No, you shouldn't be giving that to no kids or whatever." You know what I'm saying? And so like when the shit hits the fan, that's the excuse they use to get her fired. It's like, yo, these kids died and she gave them this experimental drug that she knew that they shouldn't have got, and so we got to fire her.
Right. And so the one of the doctors who decided to take over their care was like, everybody's getting sedated tonight.
Hmm.
Or
Yeah.
then Kristen freaked out. So she was like, take her to the quiet room and we're gonna sedate her. So they were calling the hospital to find Nancy, and just like, you gotta hurry up because Kristen's gonna be put her to sleep, and then she's gonna, Fred's gonna get her. So they had a one last group hypnosis where they all ended up into the quiet room with Nancy, with Nancy into the quiet room with Kristen. And so then they started the whole, you know, the whole process for everybody to show off their different powers, and then people getting defeated. Like the tough girl, she got an OD. She had a
Yeah.
bunch of drugs and stuck into her, so she died. The wizard got ran over.
What happened to the wizard? Cause like I'm thinking like the wizard, I thought actually like defeated him at first, and
At
then
first,
something happened. I didn't forgot now
but he got
because like he
defeated
was
though.
fucking the wizard was fucking him up for a good little bit.
Yeah, he got defeated.
Yeah, because like I said, he tried to he had that wheelchair that was like following him to try and kill him,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wizard blew the wheelchair up, and then he started fucking Freddy up, and then my mind goes blank on what happened after that. But like somehow Freddy ends up killing him. Uh, but he was fucking him up for a good little bit.
Mm-hmm. And so
Mhm.
Kincaid, he is so 80s black guy. Hey, hey, you jive turkey. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
just
You know you
assassin.
yeah, you know you watching the movie with a black dude in the 80s when they call somebody a jive turkey, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly. So
And they have to always have these hand gestures and they have to move their head. That's what. And I call Kincaid the out of shape in guy because he looks like he is, physically fit, kinda with his clothes
Mhm.
on. But then when he became, super Negro and he was muscular, allegedly, and he had his shirt tucked in, you could see his little pudgy stomach. So he looked like he's fit with clothes on, but when the stuff gets tighter and fitted, he's not in shape. So he's an out of
Yeah,
shape, in shape guy.
yeah, yeah. As opposed to me as out of shape guy. So there you
Uh-huh.
go.
I think I'm an out of shape, in shape.
You pass. You
Cause
might
I
be
done,
out of shape, but you know what I'm saying, nobody's gonna look at you and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, she need to cut back on them hamburgers or nothing like that,
oh,
you
I know
know.
that nobody say anything about that. I'm just talking
Yeah,
about, I used to be at the gym all the time, and now
yeah.
it's since I got the
Right.
gremlin. What he? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, he left me. But
Yeah.
anyway, since I got the gremlin, I don't hadn't been to the gym consistently. But
Yeah,
anywho,
yeah. But
um,
most people talk about like whether you in shape or not. It's just more like how you look, as opposed to like how you actually. Because like I know some people who like you look at them and they look like they out of shape, but they will fucking run miles around you.
dude,
Yeah, and you'd be like, how did you pull that off? You know. So like I
there
said,
was
you
a
know, with most people,
girl. There was a
yeah.
girl that was in my spin class, and she
Mm-hmm.
was morbidly obese, right?
Yeah.
But she was, she was up and she was, out the saddle, in the saddle. She was up, down, up, heels, everything. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, how is she doing this and I can't?
Yeah, everybody just built different, you know what
I'm
I'm
like, this
saying?
hurts
But
my pride. This hurts my pride. I'm taking a break and she going. It's like, go ahead.
Mhm.
Okay. So we are in the doing the stabbing and running around in the dream or whatnot.
Mhm.
Kincaid was able to rescue Joey because Freddie had him over like a fire pit, a bottomless pit, and so he was just hanging up there. And so Kincaid came, and Joey was falling, and he was able to grab him and pull him up by one hand because he was the magical Negro in the movie. Um, so while they were in the dream, the father and the doctor were able to find the bones, and they buried it and threw holy water on it. Of course, the father ends up getting killed.
Mhm.
So back in the dream, the father's ghost appears in front of Nancy, and he's like, I crossed over, and gives her a hug, and it's actually Freddie. And so Freddie stabs Nancy in the stomach, and it falls, and everybody's screaming and going off and whatnot. And so then Nancy then gets his glove and impales Freddie with his glove, and Nancy dies in Kristen's arms.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, the ones that's left is Neil, which is the doctor, Kristen, that's the high kicking final girl, Kincaid, that's the magical Negro, Joey, and they attend Nancy and her father's funeral. And so
Mm-hmm.
then at the funeral, Neil sees the nurse, Helena, and goes to find that into Amanda Kruger's tombstone. And Mary Helena is Amanda Kruger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
So then, what's the name? Neil goes home, goes to sleep. He has this Malaysian doll that Nancy gives like a dream catcher thing, and Kristen had made like a paper mache house in the early part of the movie. So the paper mache house and the doll would by each other. So then one of the lights in the paper mache house lit up from the inside, and you hear laughing. Hey,
Yeah.
stuff. And you hear laughing. So that means Freddy is not dead. And that means we're going to have a fourth movie.
Yay.
Yay. So, and we need to rate the movies too. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what did we rate the first one?
I would say that the first one, like I said, it's an iconic movie. Like it has hella flaws in it, but okay. So I'm gonna rate these movies as like when I originally saw them. So, like I said, if you go back and watch these movies now, some of them do not hold up at all. I was telling Miracle earlier. I had watched The Substance, and after watching The Substance, I was like, man, I need to wash my palate. I need to clean my palate off by watching Nightmare on Elm Street because like that movie is wild, you know what I'm saying? And these movies are like hella tame compared to that. So like
Mm-hmm.
the first one I'm rating strictly on like my first impressions, like way back when I first saw it. So like the first one, I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. 8.5 was when I first saw it and I loved it. And what I'm saying, I was happy to see more of it.
Well, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
All right.
I came to late and I was older and it didn't scare me, but it was, I mean, it was a great movie. I mean, it
Yeah.
was great. The kills were great. The cinematography was, great for its time. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so the second one.
All right. So the second one, I'm going to say that it's like a 6.5. Although, what I'm saying, I think if I was rating it on today's terms, it would be a little bit lower than that. But, you know, especially knowing what I know now, it's like, yo, they did not really know what they wanted to do with Freddy. And so, like I said, he's doing stuff in this movie that he can no longer do in any other movie. And so, like I said, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I thought it was okay, you know, but not terrible.
Well, I will give it a 5.
Hmm.
For a 4.5. I'm giving it a half a point because of that iconic uh, pool scene.
But it even though, like I said, it still had all the elements of a good horror flick. You know what I'm saying? Of like, hey, there's a boogeyman and he's killing people. And you know what I'm saying? He's getting like, yeah, the pool scene, he gets buck wild in the pool scene.
That
You
was
know
a
what I'm saying?
great
Just
scene.
all hell breaks loose during the pool scene. And that's like the best scene of that whole entire movie.
It was the
But like
best
I
scene.
said, it was kind of dumb. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? He literally got defeated by the power of love. You know what I'm saying? Uh, a lot of the other stuff that happened in the movie is questionable. Once again, you don't really see him that much in the second movie. So, you know, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 of like when I originally saw it. Like if I had to give it, a rating on how it is now, I'd probably be more in line with Miracle. But when I originally saw it, I thought it was fine. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was fine.
And the whole homoerotic thing is not the reason why I rate this so low. I don't, you know, I don't give a shit about any of that.
uh-huh.
I don't give a
So
crap about
she
any of that.
says.
Okay, so let me tell y'all, when back in the 2010s, 11 era, I had lost my job and I was so depressed. And so
Mhm.
I was watching season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race. No, yeah, season 2. And guess who used to come over to my house to watch it with me? So I would feel better.
I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was.
I can barely get I couldn't get my husband to drive across town to sit with me and watch Drag Race.
Hmm.
But yes,
Yeah.
Mike came and spent time with me to 'cause I was very depressed and
Hmm.
watch Drag Race. So I'm saying this to say uh, gay stuff and camp does not bother me at all. This was just a
Uh-huh.
stupid freaking movie. It was stupid. If it was gay and interesting, it would be scored higher.
Well, also, I think maybe at the time I didn't really think about all the gay context. I wasn't looking at it that hard. I was just looking at it as a pure slasher flick. Like I say, it had some of the stuff that I like in a slasher flick. You know what I'm saying? But but I knew that it was lacking at the time. You know,
Hmm.
and so like I say, if I was rating it now, I'd give it a much lower score. But I'm not rating it how I think about it now. I'm rating it on how I thought about it when I originally watched
To me, this is the Halloween 3 of the franchise.
it. But Halloween 3 turned out to be actually pretty good, you know what I'm saying?
However, it is known to be the worst Halloween movie. We know why it's considered the worst,
Mhm.
but
But
it's lore. It doesn't make sense.
so
It's
here's the thing. I don't know if I'm pretty sure you may know this, but a lot of people don't know this. That like Halloween was never meant to be the Michael Myers show. It was
I knew
always
that.
supposed to have been an anthology series. The only reason why number 2 had Michael Myers in it, it was because like at the last minute, whatever I don't think it was gonna be a season. I don't think it was season of the witch, but at the last minute, whatever movie that they was trying to do for number 2 fell through at the last minute. And so they was like, oh well, we still have all of this Michael Myers stuff. Let's just throw something together so that we can just have a movie out by Halloween. And so that's why the second one actually stars Michael Myers. So when the third one comes out, and like I said, it's the third one is actually what they actually really wanted to do, where like every movie was going to be something totally different. It was going to be a total anthology movie. But like I said, the third one came out and everybody was like, man, what the fuck is this? We want some Michael Myers, you know what I'm saying? So they never did that shit ever again. It's always been the Michael Myers show from then on out.
And we just needed to see a movie with Michael Myers doing Michael Myers shit
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stab, 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 and move on.
until we got to the cult and
Yeah,
oh Jesus,
yeah.
cult. All right,
uh,
so so I gave it a 4.5. You gave the second one a 6.
6.5.
Oh, 6.5. Okay, and then the
Yeah.
third, the Dream Warriors.
Now, Dreamworld, I give that one a 9. Like I said, it's one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Streets, mainly because it's like the one where they actually are like, okay, this is how we really want Freddy to actually operate. You know what I'm saying? He like everything that you think is iconic about Freddy Krueger actually came out in 3. Like I said, the
Mhm.
one-liners, the comedy, you know what I'm saying, a lot more of the cool kills, you know what I'm saying? Because like in the first one, you barely see him and he doesn't kill hardly anybody with his claws, you know. And the second one was like the bullshit possession stuff, You know what I'm saying? At least he did kill the people with his claws and stuff. So, but he ain't have no one-liners and he ain't crack a whole bunch of jokes and stuff like that. He
Mhm.
played real serious. So, like the third one is the one where it's like, oh, he's a little goofball. You know what I'm saying? He's cracking the jokes. You know what I'm saying? He's playing with his food. You know, and so like that becomes the staple of Freddy Krueger from here on out, and
Mhm.
that's why I like the third one. The third was the best one, and I'm giving it a 9. Like even if I was giving it like the score, you know, what I'm saying that's the score that I'm giving it when I saw it back then. I'd have that same score even looking at it uh at today's rating. You know.
I definitely give it a 9.5. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean it's tens across the board. It was a good story. It made logical for the most part sense. Um, it
And
did
the
not,
acting got way better. Like,
and the
yo,
acting was
man,
better.
the acting got way better in the
They
third
actually
one.
had a story, a coherent story, and they
Hmm.
put in just enough backstory for us to understand Freddie, and they
Hmm.
and then they made us care about all of the people in the hospital, all the crazy kids. Like
Yeah.
we actually cared about them, unlike
Yeah.
movies
Yeah, you
now.
cared. Yeah, you cared about the victims. They had a personality. You know, so like everything good about I mean, good about Nightmare on Elm Street came from this movie.
Hmm.
And they tried to replicate it a lot in the next one. It
Hmm.
didn't quite land like it should have, but I give them credit. You know, they tried. They tried. I give them an E for effort.
Hmm. So
Hmm.
the next one is the Dream Master.
Hmm.
All right. And let me. So in this, Kristen, she got changed out from Patricia Arquette to another chick. They don't look nothing like her
Hmm.
really, except for blonde hair. But
Yeah, that's why they had to kill her off quick.
mhm. And she was terrible too as an actress.
Hmm.
Like Kincaid, where are we gonna go?
Hmm.
I felt that I was in the boiler room. I felt the pipes. It's awful.
Hmm.
So Kristen Kincaid and Joy. So Kincaid, Magical Negro. Joy was the quiet guy who can now speak. So
Hmm.
now they have happily, we're all a happy family. We've gone to our homes and we're going to normal school. Like nothing happened. Like
Yeah.
you were crazy, then you're sane. Like that. And they're all at home. So
Well, they were only crazy because Freddie was fucking with them, and if Freddie ain't fucking with them no more, then they're not crazy no more. So I can understand that. I give them that.
mhm. So with
Hmm.
Kristen got her powers of pulling people into her dreams. She was having I guess, a baby nightmare because she was afraid of Freddie. So like her subconscious was conjuring him up, but he wasn't fully manifested yet. So she's like, I'm in the boiler room. Kincaid, Joey, and pulls him into the dream. And they're like, what the fuck are you calling us in here for? Freddie
Hmm.
is dead. The boilers are not on. It's cold. The pipes are cold. Leave us alone.
Hmm.
So Alice. Oh yeah. So and then we have a new final girl. Spoiler alert, a new final girl named Alice. So she's a little shy, quiet, mousy little blonde person, and she has a brother who is like the closest I could describe him is like Fonzie.
Hmm.
He was like, hello, baby, and doing all this uh 50s shit. And he
Yes,
was
because like I said, it was trying to. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say he was a kung fu master.
Hmm.
Finish what you were saying.
Actually, I had forgot what I was saying in mid sentence, so I think it may have been the thing of like how like I was saying before, is that like in this movie they tried to give. I mean, it comes. you know what I'm saying, it pays off sort of at the end, but how they
Mhm.
gave everybody their own sort of personality and things of that nature. Uh and so like I said, everybody actually feels like a character in this one and not just like, you know,
Just the next victim.
cannon fodder. Yeah, you
Mhm.
know.
So Kristen and Joey and they're in school, but they're still outcasts. But again, they're in normal school,
Mhm.
and so Kincaid falls asleep one night. That's the magical Negro,
Mhm.
and so Freddie was Kincaid's dogs in the dream and dug up Freddie's bones out of the burial space that it was in from the last movie. So then the dog pisses fire on the bones, and then Freddie
Okay.
starts to reanimate himself. Go ahead.
I remember the other videos we was in, and you was trying to make fun of my boy about how stupid it was, how he came back to life with the dudes digging him up and the lightning striking the body and bringing him back. Okay, Freddy comes back because a dog peed on his bones. That's
with
way worse.
with
That's
lightning,
way worse.
no, with fire. So he lifted his leg and he pissed fire on the bones.
It don't matter what he pissed. He just pissed on the bones, and now you got to deal with Freddy again. So I don't want to hear nothing else about them about Jason coming back to life because this was the dumbest reanimation story we've seen.
This is the dumbest.
Yes, this is the dumbest. I'm gonna say it. This is the
It's
dog.
It's dumber than Dream Child. I'm gonna let you think about it. I'm gonna let you think about it.
I'll think about it. I'll
Yeah,
think
yeah, that's gonna need some. That's gonna need some thoughts.
about it.
Okay,
hmm
so Kincaid is, and they're in the prior movie, it was they were at a junkyard. So
hmm
Kincaid was in the dream in the junkyard. So all the cars start to light up and turn on, and the dog is the smartest character out the whole movie. The dog ran off. He peed on the bones and he ran off. And so Kincaid should have followed the dog and going
hmm
around the corner, but he stayed there, was looking. And then Freddie pops up, and so all the cars end up, dislodging themselves and surrounding him. And so they do this big aerial where it's showing this large, area, and him in like a little circle because of the light on him. And he's just like, Kristen, Freddie's back. Freddie's back. But of course, he can't pull people into the dream though. But he didn't use none of his superpowers though. But he was out of shape and in shape still.
Well, his superpowers only that he was like strong, so that won't help you if you're dealing with some supernatural entity. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do? What, throw a car at him or
But y'all
something? I don't
had
know.
powers and y'all defeated him with your powers last time. So how the powers not working this time?
No, see, last time it was the power of friendship. See, the second one, power of love. Third one, the power of friendship.
So we have the so we have the Fellowship of the Ring in the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like Captain Planet, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is, you know what I'm saying? The friends come together, and like I said, you know what I'm saying, they defeat them with the power of friendship.
Yeah. So the friends, the super friends, were able to beat him the last time. So since there are people missing out of the original super fan, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
super fan
So like I said,
ensemble is gone. So
it's easier to pick them off one at a time than it is to go at them at a group. So I mean, that's a life lesson right there. That's not even a horror lesson. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Pick them off one at a time, and you will succeed.
So again, these are the Elm Street kids. So Kincaid was dispatched quickly.
hmm
Okay, Joey, the silent boy. So he landed in one of the water beds. And, if you were cool in the 80s, if you had a water bed, everybody wanted a water bed.
Hells yeah. My auntie had one, man. I used to want those things were terrible to sleep in, but they were cool
Mm-hmm.
as hell when you thought about them.
Mm-hmm. So he had his water bed. He's home, and so he is looking at um, nudie magazines, and one of the centerfolds was hanging on the wall. So then he's in his bed, and he feels, he's being bumped. And the
Hmm.
girl, because the waterbed was clear, so the girl that was on the picture that was from Playboy is in the waterbed,
Hmm.
boobs out, pressed up against the
Yeah, once
plastic.
again, my disappointment. We're on the fourth movie, and this is only the second set of boobs we've seen in this whole entire franchise. I'm highly disappointed in y'all. Highly.
But they were some good boobs though.
They was some good boobs, though. I give them to you. Hey, the boobs they showed were.
So Freddie pulls Joey into the bed and he drowns. And there. So she finds out, Kristen finds out the next day that all her friends, her remaining dream warriors are gone. So she is the last Elm Street kid. The last.
Hmm.
So Freddie has a dream in Kristen's dream. Um, she pulls in Alice. Just random off the street, wrong place at the wrong time, Alice into the dream. So
Hmm.
that way he can get more children, more victims to
Hmm.
skewer. So he
Well,
needed to pull somebody in.
no,
Go ahead.
it was Kristen. Kristen had pulled her in. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't necessarily Freddie doing it. It was her doing it
I thought
because
I
they were.
said, I thought I said that she
No,
pulled.
oh yeah, but then you were saying like, oh no, Freddie did it. But so what happens is that like in Kristen ends up like transferring her powers to Alice, which is basically the excuse of like, hey, how do we keep this thing going if like he kills all the kids, right? You know what I'm saying? And so this is their excuse on how they get the kids to come into the dreams now because she can pull people into her dream. So as long as he's invading her nightmare, you know what I'm saying, he's good and she's gonna pull other people into her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So so she pulled Alice, Kristen pulled Alice into the dream. And as Kristen is being defeated and thrown into the furnace, she's like, "You need my powers." And she transferred her powers to Alice. So Alice wakes up and she's just, you know, what's going on? I feel so different. So let's see here. So they Rick, which is Rick is Alice's brother.
Once
I,
again, you
I,
asked the
I don't even
wrong
know no
person about
names. I
names.
don't know no names. Okay, so uh, Alice's brother was dating Kristen.
Hmm.
Uh, yes, Kristen. Uh,
Yes.
uh, whatever. So there's more friends there, and so there's a one of the girls. Her name is Sheila. She dies in a dream, and it made people think that it was an asthma attack. She kills the other girl, the weightlifting punker girl.
Hmm.
Um, what was her?
At the Roach Motel. Because
The
you know, it's
Roach
like she was
Motel.
like the whole thing was like she was a super tough chick who worked out and everything, but she was scared of bugs. And so like the first thing he does is like she's lifting weights, and so like Freddie pushes the weights down while she's
Mm-hmm.
trying to lift the weights up, and it ends
Mm-hmm.
up like breaking her arms. And then after her arms break off, their cockroach arms that come out. And so like later on there's a chase where she falls into like the glue trap or whatever. And so like her regular skin comes off and it's a cockroach, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
underneath there. And so then you find out, oh, it's one of them old school roach traps with the glue
Mm-hmm.
stuff at the bottom. And so like then, you know, you see Freddy holding the little trap and squeezing it and killing.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, her name is Debbie. That's her
Yeah.
character's name. And
Hmm.
Sheila was the brain. So,
Yeah.
so every time one of her friends dies in the dream, she inherits their new abilities and personalities and powers of her dead friends.
Yeah.
So,
So like
Freddy,
Sheila, yeah, she was the tech. She was like a tech chick. She had created some kind of event, some invention or whatever. Uh, they just sort of loosely said what it did, but it wasn't supposed to do what it did at the end of the movie or whatever. And then, like I said, you know, the power she got from that chick, I guess, was like confidence or something.
I think so, or toughness.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
toughness. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
because
saying?
she was more assertive than Alice's character was.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
uh, Alice. So we're saying that the new kids is going to be taking over this franchise. So
Hmm.
let's see here. So we got the Broach Motel. That was one of the big iconic kills um, in that movie. So Freddie kills Sheila. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, the brother. So he dies in a martial arts dojo where Freddie is invisible.
Hmm.
This
Yeah.
white boy is a grandmaster martial artist that can't do not no type of strong kick or punch. Like how come they didn't get uh who's the white guy with the beard? No, not Burt Reynolds. The
I mean,
Walker
Charles.
Chuck
Yeah.
Norris. How come they didn't get Chuck?
Hey man, I think he probably was still old then. You know what I'm saying? He
Or he
wasn't
would
no
have been good
teenager.
to be the, at least been
Yeah, because like
the
I said, he was an old man in the what was the Bruce Lee flick? Fist of Death,
into the
whatever it was.
yeah,
Yes, whatever, whichever one it was, I forgot. But yeah, so like I said, he
Flying
was
Fist
old
of Fury.
60s. Maybe I think that was the name of it. So yeah, but yeah, he was old by then, so wouldn't have worked.
Mhm.
Wouldn't have worked.
So Alice had a crush on this dude named Dan, and that became her boo. That's the love that conquers all.
Hmm.
So they were meeting up with each other, Dan and Alice. I don't know when they were rushing off to go to save Debbie. So while she
Hmm.
was being tortured with the Roach Motel, they were trying to go and save Debbie, but they got caught in like a time loop where they kept
Yeah, that
reenacting
was
the
cool.
same thing over and over.
Yeah, I like that. That was cool. Cause it throws you off the first time because you're like, wait a minute, didn't they just do this? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then they do it again. It's like, oh no, they did this on purpose. Okay, yeah.
So Freddie appears in the street. Alice is like, let's run him over. So they ram into Freddie, but they actually ran into a tree. And Dan got injured and had to get rushed to the hospital and
Hmm.
for emergency surgery. So Alice is like, make sure they don't put you to sleep. Don't let them put you to sleep. And he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
what doctor
I'm
would
gonna
do that? Like
right.
this dude is just bleeding from his stomach. Like there's not a doctor on this planet that's gonna be like, yeah, let's just keep this dude up and awake. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That would have been the first thing they would have done was to knock this dude completely out.
So Dan is being rushed to surgery. When they tell him that he is going to be sedated, she runs home because she's got to catch Freddie in the dream when it's the exact moment that Dan goes to sleep. in surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So Freddie won't get him. So she got to time it just right. So she goes home, and that's when all of the spirits awaken, and she is ready to fight Freddie with all of her new powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everybody's powers combined like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. So she's ready to go and kick Freddy's ass.
So she go in a dream. She whoops up on Freddie, and Freddie then, as he dies, all the souls that he's collected have flown away off to peace and happiness. And
Yeah,
Freddie is dead.
yeah, he sure is.
Hmm. So at the end, Alice and Dan are lovey-dovey. They're the only two that made it out of that prior friend group. So after this one, we would go on to the Dream Child. But before we get to Dream Child, what do you rate Dream Master?
I rate Dream Master, like I said, when I first originally saw it. Um, I like I said, I'm this is the rating that I'm giving it from when I originally saw it. I'm giving it an 8. Like I said, that 8 does not stand up today, but
Mhm.
when I originally saw it, I would have given it an 8 because it was very similar to 3. You know what I'm saying? It was basically like they kind of had a winning formula in 3. So we're gonna repeat that formula again, and you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. And for the most part, it does. Um, so like I said, if we're judging it on when I originally saw it, I would say I enjoyed it but it was because it was so similar to 3.
Mhm.
Like I said,
It
that
was.
that rating does not hold up if you ask me like what would I rate it today.
All right, so 5. Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Oh
Mhm.
boy.
Yeah,
So
now here we go.
this is where the franchise decides to, begin the downward slide with
Mhm.
this one. Um, Basically, I'm just going to give you like a very quick synopsis.
Because you want to know
Allison,
nothing
I
happens
want it
in this
over.
movie. Nothing. Once again, this is one of those movies that nothing happens in. You
Well,
know.
something happens.
Like I said, man, they spend more time dealing with the whole not even like, oh, the Freddie child thing. They spend more time on like, oh, you know what I'm saying, the child, we need to get custody of the child and this, that, and the other. It's like, wait a minute, am I watching some Lifetime story here, or am I watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Like, what are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? It was, I swear to God, this could have been on Lifetime. Like, you take the last 10 minutes of this movie off, and this could have been a Lifetime movie.
Now, Lifetime used to have some great movies. I used to stay
Uh-huh.
home from church when the right movie came on. Like
Yeah.
my favorite one was Mother My Sleep with Danger, or the Elizabeth what's her name? The what's her crazy name? I don't know,
Hmm.
but it was great. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this the woman scoring the Betty Broderick story. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, I was staying
Yeah.
home. I wanted to see that.
Well, once again, that was not my forte, so I'm gonna have to take your word for all of that. But like I said, there's something about this movie that went way wrong somewhere. It was like, yo, did y'all forget that y'all were making the Nightmare on Elm Street movie or something? You know?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
the
it was
dream,
literally more about the teen pregnancy. Well, I guess she's not a teen. I guess she
yeah,
was an adult,
they had just graduated
maybe.
high school.
Yeah, they just graduated from high school, so I guess she may have been like 18 or
I
something
mean, they
like
were
that.
all kids. It's not, like
Yeah, but like I said,
Epstein
they
or
spend
nothing.
more time on that stuff than they do like Freddy shit. And it's like, yo, did y'all forget what type of movie y'all making here?
Well,
So this is the movie I will be dogging on.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So basically, Alice and Dan, they're now a couple, and they, were doing things, and she ended up getting pregnant.
Mhm.
Dan went to sleep and he was killed in the movie. All the other friends in their little friend group died in ridiculous ways.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference in this one though is that Alice is used to being in control of the dream. She was the dream master, so she could
Mm-hmm.
do shit because she had all these powers.
Mm-hmm.
So then she's thinking that she is being pulled into a dream, but she can't control it, so something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we find out that it's the unborn baby is
Yeah.
having dreams, and the baby is pulling Alice into the dream. So in
Mm-hmm.
the dream, she has met her unborn child.
Right. Right. Because like I think like well, it was something like oh yeah, she was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like right after they found out that she was pregnant, she was in the hospital, and like this little mysterious child comes up and starts talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, I like that name." I think his
Mm-hmm.
name was Jacob or something like that. She was
Jacob,
like,
that was his name.
"Yeah, yeah, I like that name." You know what I'm saying? She was like, and so like say, yeah, it turns out that this child is supposed to be the child that she's supposed to have in the future or something like that,
Right.
and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was the big twist in that one, that it was the child, and that the child, oh, and Amanda Kruger popped up talking about the only way that we can get rid of him is if we put him back in my womb, or some shit.
Yeah, it was kind of confusing.
It was
Uh
stupid. It made no sense.
yeah, because like I said, it yeah. Um because I want to say that it was like because well the only really good thing about this movie, to be honest with you, is
It was the
that like
credits.
that too. But they did, explain more about, saying what happened to Amanda Kruger doing the little thing or whatever that happened to her. And like so basically like the way that they gotta get rid of Freddie is like basically she has to trap him because like
Mhm.
she's the only person that can do that. And so, like I
Yeah.
said, like that's how they ended up defeating him is like making his mother hold him or keep a hold of him and like sort of lock him up in the part of the psych ward that she was locked up originally to that where she got R worded it and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh and so now the one other cool thing about this movie is that what's the dude name? Robert England. He
Mhm.
actually plays the main inmate that does the stuff. And that's the guy who
Uh-huh.
plays Freddy in
Mhm.
real life. So, so I thought that was a cool little nod or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Mhm.
this movie is like terrible, man. From top to bottom, you know what I'm
So
saying?
let me explain. I'm reading Wikipedia so I can explain the whole dream world baby thing. So
Uh-huh.
apparently, every time Alice pulled in the dream, Freddie hides inside her, and he's been feeding off of the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So she decides that she's going to draw Freddie out from within herself. So
Mm-hmm.
then Amanda, she is pulled into the dream because somebody found her bones, and now she's alive or whatever. So Jacob wants to, pretend that he's cool with Freddie. So he's like, teach me, and gets Freddie off his guard. So Jacob ends up destroying Freddie. And so he becomes like an infant. And so the
Yeah.
infant form is then absorbed into the mother. And so Jacob's infant form was absorbed into Alice.
Mm-hmm.
So the mother, Amanda Kruger, she's holding the baby. She's like, you need to hurry up and get out. So the baby is like fighting her, trying to exit out of her.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she goes, and then she's like in this room, and then Freddy pops out, and then like the door closes, and there's another one opens and slams, and opens and slams, opens and slams. It was a really good ending.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent ending, but man, that movie is like, yo, like like I said, what type of movie were they planning on making? Like, I almost want to go and just see if I can find some research to see what happened with that movie, because you don't make a movie that bad, then there's something really happened behind the scenes, you know. Uh, because like I said, it has none of the stuff that, we were talking about, how the third movie is like how Freddy comes in his own. And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, it had none of that in there. You know what I'm saying? He's hardly cracking jokes. He's hardly, doing anything in the movie. Like I said, the majority of the movie is more like a PSA about teen pregnancy or whatever. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's like, yo, and then, like I said, we're trying to explain what happens at the end of this movie. And I'm pretty sure people who hadn't seen this movie is like, what are y'all talking about? Yeah, exactly. What are we talking about? Because the ending to that movie is so confusing. You know what I'm saying? Other than the fact that, like, yeah, the mother has to hold Freddy forever or something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. That movie
But
is just
so reading in Wikipedia about some of the issues, so there was a bad production. Uh,
okay. Like I said, when you see a movie that bad, you know that something behind the scenes happened, because there's
yeah.
no way you could have made that movie without something just being horribly wrong.
Hmm. So they were, so they had multiple people writing the script, and people were being shuffled around,
Hmm.
and so we didn't get a cohesive script, and editing was challenging because they had to reduce the on-screen violence, blood, and gore because they would have gotten X-rated. I know, I know, I
One
know.
and I think the other thing is, like, we're looking at it like now, and it's like, yeah, that was supposed to be X-rated. Like, what could have been so bad that it would have got X-rated? It's like, yo, I just seen the substance. Like, yo, that ain't got nothing on the substance. You could play that whole movie unedited right now on TNT, and nobody would bat an eye. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord, yeah.
So yeah, I want to know but I know, like, a lot of stuff in horror has changed. So and people's
Hmm.
attitude towards stuff, has changed. So maybe at the time it might have been considered bad, but I'm telling you, like, yo, whatever it was, it couldn't have been that bad. And maybe it was bad by that standards, but like I said, what I'm saying, it's not that bad.
And some scenes were deleted.
Hmm. And
Um,
like I said, it might have been those deleted scenes that would have made that whole movie made sense.
so here's the interesting part. So when this
Hmm.
movie was released, it was subjected to some cuts because of sequences for Dan, Mark, and Greta's deaths because they were too graphic and they were going to be classified as an X. So,
Hmm.
um, so there is an unrated version available, um,
Okay.
but it contains more. And I think I've probably seen it possibly.
Mhm.
Dancing cables can be seen sliding under the skin of Dan's arm. A piece of the bike pierces his leg, and skin on Dan's head is more graphically torn off while he screams in pain.
Mhm.
And Greta seeing Frey slices open a doll that begins to bleed, and Greta is shown to have a gaping wound in her stomach from which Freddy starts to feed to her. And some scenes were cut in Australia, blah, blah, blah. So maybe with the scenes and the editing and the the tumult behind the scenes is
Yeah.
why this movie just, I give this one a solid 5.
You see, you're being more generous than I am. I'm giving it a 4. It is and even then, I think I'm giving it a bit too high. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
bad.
especially me considering that I am judging this on when I originally saw it. Like, if you asked me to judge it by now, it would be a solid 2. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give it the same credit that I gave the other movies. I'm gonna judge it on how I thought when I originally saw it. But I hated this movie when I originally
It
saw
wasn't. It's not good. It's not
it.
good at
It is
all.
not good. It is not like this is the one to skip, y'all.
Yeah.
This is the one to skip. Like a
But
lot of
wait,
people.
there's one more.
Well, okay, I'm gonna. So here's the thing. I tried to find this movie on the streaming service. They didn't have this, so I don't remember too much from this movie. I'm going off of the last stuff that I remembered. So,
Okay,
uh, so like I said, we could talk about it, but I may not have as much input on it as the other ones. But
that's
like I
fine.
said, I could not get this one on the streaming service. And another one that I couldn't get on the streaming service, I could not get New Nightmare on there. And I actually remember liking that movie. That movie was like
I
a
didn't
fun
care for
movie.
New Nightmare.
Like I said, I thought the premise was. I don't remember it being scary, but I remember the premise being cool as fuck. It's like Freddy is now attacking the actors who played in the
Hmm.
movies, and I thought that was a cool concept. I don't remember it
Yeah.
being super scary, but I remember that being a cool concept, and I would have liked to have seen it
Mm. Well, I'm not even gonna touch it. So,
again.
um,
Hmm.
let me see if I can. So, all of the friend group except for Alice is. Well, you know what? What the fuck am I even talking about? None of them even are in this anyway. This is a whole different group of kids.
Yeah, because this happened like way further into the future or something like
Like
that.
10 years in the future. And
Okay, yeah.
so yeah, so it's random kids, troubled children that are living in a shelter or orphanage or something like that. Um, God, basically, they decide they're going to go to um, whatever town that they were into, and it ended up being drawn there by Freddie back to Elm Street, and so he was
Hmm.
trying to re he was trying to reunite with his child, and
Hmm.
so the people are getting picked off one by one. Of
Hmm.
course, everybody thought that Freddie had a son, but it was actually the daughter. So the daughter had to fight Freddie in the
Hmm.
dream. This is a
Yeah.
skip to. I mean, I'm doing a grave Christian duty, trying to explain what I've explained.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were Freddie, though he was. There was a lot of the quirky one-liners and the kills and whatnot, but it was not good at
Hmm.
all.
Yeah.
This was
So
a
like I said,
terrible movie.
I do remember this one not being good, but I do remember liking it more than I liked the Dream Child. So
I think I
yeah.
prefer Dream Child over this.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I scored this lower than Dream Child.
no.
This
Like I
is
said,
a two.
I do remember Dream Child just being the one that I just hated because, like I said, they spend more time on the teen pregnancy stuff than they do on the hey, this is a Freddy movie stuff. And I think that's the thing that I really did not like about that movie. You know, if it
Mm-hmm.
had been more Freddy stuff and less of the child stuff, I think I would have liked it more. But uh that one was the one that I was like I remember truly hating that one when I walked out. Like the six. Yeah, that was six, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
Freddy's Dead is six. So like yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
remember
six.
walking out of that thinking like, okay, that wasn't the best, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't as bad as Dream Child. Dream Child was like the worst for me. That I
Dream
was like,
Child was an abomination.
yeah.
Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare, the only saving grace, just the only sliver of the
Hmm.
saving grace was this is where there was the Freddy versus Jason crossover, um,
Hmm.
because didn't Freddy Freddy went to hell first. Freddy went to hell first and pulled Jason down, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like it was at the end of um yeah, where like Jason's mask was laying on the ground, and then you
Hmm.
see Freddy's claws come up and pull the mask down the hill, and then that's when
Okay.
you get yeah.
Never mind then. Yeah, okay, so Freddy died first. Got it.
Uh-huh.
But this so then I stand with the four.
Uh-huh.
I stand with the four.
Like I said, if I'm gonna give this one a 5. Once again, if I remember how I remembered it when I originally saw this movie, I think I would have given it a 5 because, like I said, I gave Dream Child a 4. So,
Hmm.
and I did like this one a little bit better than Dream Child, so I'm gonna give this one a 5.
Uh-uh. Strong thought.
Hmm. It's
Okay.
not a strong 5, but I just say 5.
It's a strong four.
Mhm.
All right, so we
Mhm.
have Freddy's dead, and then
Now, I hadn't seen any other ones after that. I
okay,
hadn't tried to watch any other ones after that. I forgot to watch the remake, so that you
okay,
can blame that one on me.
that's
I do
fine.
remember some of that stuff, but now that we was talking about it, I was like, man, yeah, they did make a remake of
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and I do
Mm-hmm.
remember us seeing it.
We went to
Uh,
see it.
And I was thinking to myself, like, man, they should remake Friday the 13th. And then it hit me that they did. And that was the most soulless movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
I will say that the guy that played Freddy, he wanted to play Freddy darker,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But Freddy was both a mix of the sinister and nice, funny. Like you like
Yeah,
Freddy,
yeah.
even though
And
he's gonna kill you, but you like him.
I think they wanted to emphasize a whole lot more of him, messing with the kids in that one, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
what I'm saying, being a predator or whatever.
They
Because
went
like
straight to Epstein Island with
Yeah,
him.
because like part of that movie was them trying to pretend like, oh, he was like falsely accused of messing with the kids. And then
Hmm.
like at the end, it's like, no, 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 he totally did mess with the kids.
He
You know
did
what I'm
that
saying?
shit. He
So
did all of that
yeah,
shit.
yeah, he did all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that that was pretty cool in the remake. Where they tried to, throw it like, oh, he was falsely accused and they end up killing the innocent dude. And then, like at the end, it's like, no, he wasn't innocent. No, he did that shit for
He
real.
did it all.
Yeah, he did all that shit.
And then, of course, we have to talk about Jason versus Freddy.
See, I didn't even get that far because I consider that one more of a Jason movie than a Freddy movie. So I didn't relook. I didn't look that one up. So you can blame me on that one. I probably should have got a list of all the movies I should have been watching.
No, this
So
is perfectly fine because I wasn't going to go any further than
yeah,
the
but I consider because in fact I
the six.
think that would be the because like I said, if we look at the Jason movies,
Hmm.
let's just start with like I said, because we discussed earlier, we had Jason's Live at 6, Jason Takes Manhattan would be 7, uh 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 Jason Goes to Hell would be
Jason goes to
8,
hell.
and then Freddy
Jason
versus Jason
X.
would be 9, and then
Then
Jason
Jason
X is
X.
10.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jason X is 10. So, like I said, I think that actually falls within the Friday that technically falls within the Friday the 13th universe versus the Nightmare on Elm Street universe.
Hmm. I can see that.
Yeah, because like I said, if you look at it, that's how the progression of those movies go. Because
Hmm.
if you take it out, then there's no ninth movie. It just goes from 8 to 10.
But this was the last movie um, where England played Freddy,
Hmm.
and last film in each franchise's canon before the remake and reboot.
Hmm.
Even though
Yeah.
I don't consider this canon,
Which one?
Freddy versus
The
Jason.
Yeah. I mean,
And
like I
I really
said,
don't
I
consider
don't.
Jason X canon either.
Yeah, no, Jason X is totally canon. It's totally canon. You know what I'm saying?
It's
I
not
that what
canon.
this is canon as you gonna get right there.
Jason X is not canon.
I told you, man. That's a Mike special right there. That's a
Explain
Mike
to me,
special.
explain to me that you are so far in the future that you leave, you
Like I
leave.
said, explain to me we so far in the future that we can't have HD monitors. So there you go. When you explain that to me, I'll explain the other thing to you. So there you go. There you go.
Well, anyway, it's the last that was canon for both characters or both franchises. So
uh-huh.
basically, Freddy's been trapped in hell since the last movie. So he needs people to invade. He needs children to invade their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Freddie can no longer do that because the city has done a whole bunch of extra efforts to completely erase Freddie from history. Like
Mm-hmm.
they whitewashing history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
and they gave people the hypnosil. That was the drug that Nancy took, gave the kids and the dream warriors. But so
Mm-hmm.
not everybody's on it and they don't dream anymore. And so the people who refused to stop dreaming got sent to the mental hospital. So the crazies were still in the mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so the crazies broke out the hospital. They were friends with this girl with a big chest. Like she had the little top and they would stop here and her cleavage would be sticking out the top the whole movie. And of course, she got
Mm.
wet and she was running a lot, and it was just boobs, just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, yeah.
But so they were all friends, and she was the final girl. Kelly Rowland was in this one.
Yep, yep, she sure was.
So
Uh-huh.
Freddie needed to get just the kids talking. And so when people start talking, then he could invade their dreams. But he needed something physical. So they were able to get Jason, that
Mm-hmm.
reanimate Jason, to
Yeah,
come and slash people. And so
yeah.
people would be talking and in the fear, and that would bring in the bad dreams. So
Mm-hmm.
then the girl with the big boobs, she had the power to pull people out of a dream. So
Uh-huh.
she was able to pull Freddie out the dream because Jason was in real life. So she was able to pull Freddie out the dream, and Freddie and Jason got to fight. I would say the fight was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yes, it was very anticlimactic.
And so the big breasted a final girl and one of the crazy guys had like a relationship flirtation going on. And so they were able to like run away on to the pier. The girl somehow found a hose for gas and was spraying across the pier, and she lit it. An explosion happened. They flew in the water. Jason and Freddie are stabbing each other with the machete and a knife, and there's blood and finger body parts just flown everywhere. And so then Jason gets Freddie one good time, and they both fall in the water. But of course, Jason never dies. His eyes are wide open as he sinks into the water. And so then the big breasted girl throws the machete in the water. So when Jason is reanimated again, he'll have his machete right there. Hey,
Yeah.
Cassandra. Um, Make sure you come tomorrow at 7:30 Central. I'm going to be live and playing some of my old hits, and we can kiki and laugh and costumes and everything. Okay, so Yeah. So they set the place on fire, and then we wake up in like a dream world where Jason is coming out the water with his machete in hand, and he's got Freddy's head in his hands.
Yeah.
And as they walk by, Freddy winks, and you
Winks.
hear the ah ha 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, we're gonna have more of this, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Now I think the wild thing about that was that they were supposed to have Pinhead at the end. He was supposed to show up at the end of that movie, but they
Really?
couldn't get yeah, but they couldn't get the rights to him in time.
But this is
So
part of New Line Cinema. What's
yeah,
it get?
I forgot the reasoning behind it, but the whole thing was that like it was supposed to have been like I think like they both kill each other, and then like the ending was like Pinhead talking to him or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was supposed to have been like that type of crossover type thing. You know.
New Line Cinema. Mm.
But yeah, that was a New Line Cinema, so they should have been that. But there had to been something to go on because I remember that it was a rights thing. But like I said, how is it the right things when like New Line Cinema owned all of them? Unless they accidentally sold off the Hellraiser franchise to somebody.
Oh, and you know another thing that was off about Jason versus Freddy, or Freddy versus Jason.
Hmm.
The guy that played Jason, his name is Kane Hodder. Anyway, he played Jason, not in the first two or three, but he did it from I think like four on. He was
Hmm.
Jason, and Jason was when he was like the big hulky um, superhuman. That was
Yeah.
Kane Hodder. So in this movie, they recast Jason for another dude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, you know. Hmm.
So and they did it because I think Kane Hodder is taller than Robert England. So they wanted
Yeah.
to have somebody a little shorter, or I don't, yeah, or it would
I
be
don't know. I think
too
it would
much
have been much
taller.
better to have somebody who's taller than Jay. I mean, taller than Freddy. You know what I'm saying? Because it is this thing of Jason being like brute force, where
Hmm.
Freddy is more cunning. You know what I'm saying? I think that's always a classic matchup.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah. So I give Jason versus Freddy. If nothing's on and I'm trying to fall asleep, I would give Freddy versus Jason. Mm, and for the nostalgia vibes of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, not the 2010s, the early 2000s. This was done in
Hmm.
'03, the 2000 wows.
Hmm.
He played, Kane played most of Jason, but in the first few, he wasn't in there. Oh, and another movie I like, uh, when we were talking about crossovers, was The Gin,
The Gin.
The Wishmaster.
Oh, Wishmaster. Yeah.
And
Well,
so
I.
all of the horror people, like Kane Hodder, he was in there. He
Uh-huh.
did a cameo. The Candy Man, he did a cameo.
Hmm.
Um, Robert Englund, he was in there. So
Hmm.
they brought in a lot of the horror. Uh, but Doug Bradley wasn't in there, of course, but they brought in
Uh-huh.
all of the old 90s, 80s horror icons in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
The Wishmaster was wild. Like I said, I think, saying everybody remembers the one we said, wish you go fuck yourself. And like, yeah, that didn't turn out
oh my
well at
gosh.
all.
Oh man.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, that's one of those like, hey man, you want to watch a scary or you want to watch a horror movie that's just like just nonsense. Like that's a nonsense type.
Yeah.
Like it gets my
Wishmaster.
seal of approval, but it's
Do
it's
you know there are
usually
three Wishmasters?
like I said. I don't think I made it past two. Actually,
Yeah.
I bet you there's more than that because that seems like one of the ones that was like straight to DVD movies. You go
Let
into
me look.
Blockbuster and they're like on Wishmaster 7 right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's look
Oh,
that up.
wait a minute.
Cause I could have sworn no, there was like ton of Wishmaster movies that came out, and they were all straight to DVD blockbuster specials.
There's a 4.
I'm thinking there's more than that.
I'm looking at the AI has said that it consists of 4 films. We're
Hmm.
beginning with the first one, and then Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies,
Hmm.
Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell, which I could not finish, and then
Hmm.
Wishmaster 4, The Prophecy Fulfilled. I have never seen that one.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was one of the things I saw the first two, and I stayed away from the other two. Uh, because like I said, I think those two were just straight to DVD specials. Like what I'm saying, you ain't got nothing else to watch, and you at Blockbuster, and you walk past, and you like, ooh, there's another Wishmaster out there. Let me go and check it out. Like I said, if you had to ask me, I would have been like, man, I could have sworn there was probably about 7 or 8 of them things out there, because they just seemed like they were good straight to DVD specials.
I mean, I'm thinking Wishmaster Prophecy Fulfilled was straight to DVD.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't even understand this.
Hmm.
And this was made in 2002. What on earth is this? The Jen falls in love? What? Child. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the first, and I think the reason why the first two work is because of the guy that played
Hmm.
the Jen.
Yeah.
What was his name? No, it wasn't Kane. It was Andrew Devoff. Devoff.
Mm,
He's an actor and a producer, and he has played many villains in film and television. He's
uh-huh.
got a villain face. Yeah, he's got a villain face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he played Wishmaster. So I mean, the Jinn so great.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when they went to the third one, and they had this weird dude, I was. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I said, I can't. Where is this? Where
See,
is my boy?
I think the first two were actually released in theaters, and I think that's why I actually seen those, but the other two weren't, and so I never paid any attention to them. Like I said, if whenever I see a movie that went straight to DVD back in the days, I knew it was bad. Like, don't even worry about it. Just
Hmm.
keep on moving, Mike.
And that's
Find something else.
all the Hellraisers. After the third one was the last one that was in theaters.
No, because because I remember seeing the one with the spaceship in theaters. So if you're saying that 4 was in theaters, that one had to been in theaters, because I do specifically remember watching that movie in the theater.
Okay, so Bloodlines, that was the fourth one.
Yeah,
No,
so like I said, that may have been the last one. I
fourth,
know it's the
yeah.
last one I ever watched, but you know what I'm saying, that one had to been in theaters, because I remember seeing that one in theaters.
Yeah, and then it went straight to DVD with the Hellraiser Inferno. So the reason why none of the Hellraisers made sense is because they were pretty much they had was just releasing movies just so they could keep their license on the franchise. And
Yeah.
so they would just have scripts around, and they were like, hey, well, this is a cop flick. Well, let's shoehorn Pinhead in there and
Yeah,
have him pop up.
yeah, because like I said, Pinhead as a villain didn't really do anything. He was just like, there. Like the Cenobites were just there. They didn't like force the people to do anything. So like, yeah, you could just have just a regular ass movie, and then just throw Pinhead in there, because it's not
Yep,
like
that's what
he's
they
gonna
did.
do anything. He's just like there. Like when you start fucking up, it's like, well, I'm here now. You know.
Yeah. But they had one. So we had Inferno was the next one. That's the one with the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You there? I think you may have dropped. I don't know. The show may be over, folks. If your girl is gone, no. Let's see. So I guess she's trying to get back on. So let's give her a few minutes. I don't know. Well, I guess I should talk about something to keep y'all entertained, man. Uh, yeah, her screen was frozen. Uh, how's mine's looking? Mine's looking all right. Just making sure. But um, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about watching movies earlier before we got on here, and I was talking about how I watched The Substance and I watched Weapons because they both came out on Max a while back. And like I like that Weapons movie. It's a good movie. It was a good movie. Although I wouldn't classify that as a horror movie, you know. Um because, like I said, there's nothing horror about that movie until like the very end. Like, you know, it's just a little supernatural flick at the end. But like up until the end, there's like nothing horror about it. You know, it's really just a crime drama where they are, uh, where they're basically like dealing with the aftermath of the kids disappearing. But like, if like there's nothing supernatural that happens until the very end. And okay, it looks like she's back now. Hey, although she might be muted, unmute yourself. You know what the buttons at the bottom do, right?
can you hear me?
Barely. I think you need to turn up your mic
Oh, okay. Give me a second.
or make sure it's going through like your microphone and not
That's
through like
better.
some other source.
Is that better?
Nope.
It's supposed to be coming through my microphone.
Said we can barely hear you, or at least I can barely hear you. I don't know. Maybe the internet peoples can hear you better than I can, but I can barely hear you. Internet peoples, how she sound? Can you barely hear her?
I mean, I don't really have too many chatters, so. Hmm. You said you can't hear me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, did you look at the source? Make sure that it's coming through the microphone that's in front of you and not like somewhere else. Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're far away from whatever's picking up your voice.
Is that better?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know. We might just have to call it here, folks.
Oh, this is crazy.
Hmm.
Is that?
Nope.
Oh, I can't hear. Hmm. Hold on.
like I said, you still at that same level.
How about that one?
Huh?
How about that?
Nope.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, now that sounds better.
Okay.
But it still sounds like it's not picking up the right microphone. It doesn't sound like it's picking up the microphone that's in front of you. Hold on, say something again.
Some again.
Okay, that sounds much better.
Okay. This microphone. Okay. B Blanco, can you hear?
Yeah, like I said, you
Is that
sound much
better?
better. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what I was saying.
Yeah, see, like you move that microphone away and you sound the exact same. So it's not like I said, it sounds like you're getting picked up by some other source other than that microphone that's in front of you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like move that microphone away and then say something.
Something.
See, yeah, you sound the exact same. So you're the microphone, whatever's picking you up isn't that microphone there. You need to change the source of your
Now,
or you
Mike,
can
you
just
know,
rock with what you got. Cause at least we can hear you now.
now you know I'm slow.
I know. I know.
you know I'm
But I mean,
slow.
like, at least we can hear you. So if you just want to rock like that for the rest of the night, it's fine. It's just a little echoey, but we can work with that.
Let me see.
But like, yeah, go look down there by the microphone. You should see like a little arrow next
What
to
about
it.
that?
Click on that, and then make sure that it's got the right microphone checked out.
How do I sound now?
Sound the same. But like I said, just don't worry about it, girl. Just rock with it. We can at least hear you now.
Okay. I'll
And,
just not move the mic.
hmm
It could be Freddie. It's probably no. Actually,
Now,
it's
actually,
probably the Hellraiser. It's the Cenobites doing it.
yeah, yeah.
Cause I was just God blocking it. They don't want me to tell y'all about the rest of these shits.
hmm
So I hope that somebody can resurrect Hellraiser.
Well, I mean, you said that you saw the new movie that came out. I just hadn't seen it because, like I said, I noped out of that franchise. And so, like I said, I never bothered to go back to it. But, maybe, but I
It was
also don't.
okay.
But also, I think just slasher flicks as a whole have just struggled over the last couple of years because, like I said, the idea of just some random dude killing people isn't really scary like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Because hell, that shit's real life now. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Mm-hmm.
turn on if you want to see random people killing people, you just turn on the news at 6 o'clock in the morning. There you go. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? As opposed to like now a lot more of the psychological stuff is hitting a lot harder now as opposed to just straight up, slasher flicks.
Okay. Terrifier.
Yeah, I mean, but like, those movies aren't really well. Okay, so I only saw the first one, so I ain't gonna. I heard from what I heard, the third one is actually a legitimate okay movie. So I'm gonna give that one a pass.
The
But
second
like,
one is too.
well, I didn't see the second one, but nah, the one that I hear that like is the one that's supposed to be like a genuine okay movie. Like it's not a great movie, but it's like one that you can sit through and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Is the third one, but even still, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's just one. Like we're sitting here talking about all the movies from the 80s and 90s and 2000s and stuff like that like we've forgotten more slasher flicks than saying they put out now you
Mm-hmm.
know I was trying to talk about the one where like the guy had the little ball that was going around, like the ball would go out and then like hit sucks like hit them in the head and then suck the brain out. I can't even remember what the name of that movie was, but that was like a franchise. Like I said, we talking about Wishmaster, you know what I'm saying? Hell, we
Hmm.
can even talk about Leprechaun or whatever. But we
I was
don't
just
have,
thinking that.
yeah, we don't have those type of flicks anymore because they don't really hit that hard now because like I said, that doesn't really do it for people anymore. So, like I
Yeah.
said, you either have to like get super gory with it, or it has to be more of a psychological thing. Because guess what? Real life is way scarier than the shit that they were showing on them screens back then.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So, like I said, and that's why I was like, yeah, I like those movies like The Substance, where it's just like, I was like, what I'm saying, like even before the horror, it's not like when the horror shit happens in The Substance, I was just laughing my ass off. Like the
Hmm.
ending of that movie, I laughed the whole entire time. Like that was supposed to be the horror part of it, but I was just laughing my ass off during that time. But like just the regular, just day to day, like yo, this shit is fucked up. Like that's the shit that had my skin crawling. Like we hadn't even gotten into the horror stuff. It's just the day to day of the substance was just making me like freak out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, another movie that was like that was like Descent. Like, yeah, that movie's all kind of fucked up even before you get to the monsters in the cave. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
watching that movie had my skin crawling just like, yo, we got to get through this little narrow ass path. And I'm like, yo, I don't know if I can make it to through that. When the monsters actually come, I'm like, oh yeah, finally some relief. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh, did you hear? Guess what MMO was supposed to be coming to console?
Which one? What? Wow? They're not putting WoW on console. Like that would be. Actually, no, I take that back because they put Final Fantasy. I'm pretty sure these people don't want to hear about the nerdy stuff like talking about. But yeah, they put Final Fantasy on the consoles and they actually made it work. So I think they could make WoW work. And in fact, I'm wondering what took them so long to do that because, like I said, once you see how Final Fantasy did their controls and stuff, uh I would have been jumping on that on day one. Because like I said, you put that shit on consoles, man, people are gonna blow that up. But if they had did that, a decade ago, but now, most people have moved on from WoW. Like you're either super hardcore into it now where it doesn't even matter, or what I'm saying, you could give a crap about WoW now,
Well, I just watch like the stories and trying to stay up what's going on with the story. And after Shadowlands, I was like, nah.
Yeah. And like I said, I wish I could get back into those games, but I just ain't got that time, man. I just ain't got that time.
Yeah,
You
Mike got me into playing WoW, and
know.
and we would do
No,
we
you
would
got yourself. Don't blame me on this one. You got yourself into playing wild. I was just minding my own business, and you was like, "Hey, what is that?" And I just,
well, anyway, Mike got me to play WoW,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, when I was picking my characters, like, you can be a mage, idiot can do that one. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it then.
Yeah, you know what I'm
So
saying? Yeah, you just got to keep pressing the same buttons over and over again, then the numbers still go up. So, you know what I'm saying? Uh, as opposed to being a tank like I was, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn rotations, you got to learn all kind of boss fights and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? She just keep hitting the fireball button and her numbers still go up. So,
whatever, but that comes with the risk of me not being able to move and cast at the same time. Like, I would rather be able to move and
But
cast.
yeah, but the numbers go up. That's all anybody cares. They look at that DPS chart and say, "Did the numbers go up?" Yeah, all right, she all right. She all right.
Well, so we had started when the game was at its height, everybody was doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
so the new expansion was coming out. Everybody was all gung ho for it. I started at the tail end of the game that as it was currently at that time. So
Mm-hmm.
Mike got me up to level 75, no 70.
Yeah, I think it was 70 at the time because this was Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
No, so I think no, Burning Crusades was 65, and then you jumped in like at the tail
Se-
end of Burning Crusades, and then to the what was the next one? That Frozen was it Frozen Throne that was next, and that
no,
got you to 70.
that was so Wrath of Lich King was the,
Oh, Lich King, yeah, Lich King, yeah. So Lich King came out, and then that got you to 70.
and then Cataclysm was 75 or 75, and I think
No, no, I
Pandaria
think
was
Mist.
80.
I thought Mist was before Cataclysm. Like I
No,
said, man, the,
Cataclysm was in. That's when the players dropped off. So it was the next
uh-huh.
expansion.
Okay. Well, like I said, that's where I had sort of dropped off myself, so I don't remember any of that stuff. So, but
I tried to persevere, but when you
yeah.
don't have a real life friend to play with you, and then the game has gotten to be way less social. So like back in the day when we were gonna run a dungeon, um,
hmm
we would have to somebody would have to be in town and advertise in the trade chat, and then had to be summoned back to the instance. And
hmm
so now, after Wrath of the Lich King came out, there's a button you can hit called Group Finder. So it
Yeah.
automatically puts you in the dungeon and have you with your 5-man group, with the correct comp, the tank, 2 DPS, and the healer. Tank, the
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Ah,
hmm
what was I just saying?
Yeah. I mean, you just talk about how it's less sociable now because
Oh
of
yeah,
the group
yeah.
finder.
So the people just come in and they're from different uh, uh, realms.
hmm
Each We all had a particular realm that we all played on, and we got to know people on that realm. Like if somebody was a ninja looter and stole something, they would put in the trade. Do not put Jangle Lang in your group. He's a ninja. The being in a certain zone, the barons and the barons chat, and all of the Chuck Norris jokes, and it was a different time. Everybody was so social, and we waiting on somebody to come, and we just sitting there, and so we conversed.
Yeah.
So come with Group Find, everybody's in there. If someone says hello, they're
hmm
getting ready to be kicked.
Yeah. Well, I think because, like I said, I think it was all about business. Like I said, people just want to get their fat loot and be about their business. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to be all social and stuff. And like I said, that was an aspect of the game that got lost in that. But because like I said, people like I when I was coming up, like I was cutting my teeth on like the hardest of the hardcore MMOs. Like WoW, what made WoW so popular was that it was the MMO that like cut out a lot of the BS. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, uh, like I played Final Fantasy 11 growing up. And like that was my first big like I didn't get on EverQuest because I was in school at the time and I knew that I could just look at that game and say like, yo, if I get on that game, I'm destroying every bit of uh uh chance that I have at getting the education. So I did stay away from that at the time. But then I started playing Final Fantasy 11 and like I said, that was my first hardcore MMO that I was running. And that was the MMO where like I was falling asleep at the keyboard playing that game. You know what I'm saying? It was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, when WoW came out, it was a whole thing of like, yo, you don't have to do the ridiculous stuff like you did in the other games. Like you didn't have to do corpse runs, and you wasn't just grinding forever just to get one level. It wasn't forcing you to like, and the big thing was like it wasn't forcing you to be in a party
Back
like,
then.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like in all the other MMOs up until then, like you had to be in a party. Like there was no way for you to solo for real,
Mm.
realistically. You know what I'm saying? And like this was the 1st one where you actually could just like you could just log on, play for like an hour, and just mind your own business, and then and still make some progress. You ain't have to work because like in Final Fantasy 11, luckily I was a healer in that game, so I was able to get into groups relatively fast. But if I was like a DPS, I know people who would log on. My brother, he was playing and he played a DPS, and he would log on some nights. And if I wasn't like, because we came as a package pair, you know what I'm saying? So like if you invited me to the group, you'd have to invite him to the group. But like if
Mm-hmm.
he decided he was just gonna log on one night and just play and I wasn't available, there'd be some nights he just wouldn't even get into a group at all. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And so, like I said, when WoW came out, that was such a refreshing experience because, like I said, you could just log on, play for a while, make some progress, and log out. You know,
WoW has
so
definitely changed from that.
yeah. So, like I said, the big problem is that like they did cut out a lot of the BS from the other MMOs, but they probably cut a little bit too much BS out. Because, like you said, the whole thing of like you're now grouping up with people who aren't on the same server as you. So, like, yeah, they don't have that reputation. Like once again, when I was on 11, people knew who I was. So if they saw me looking for a group, they know, hey, he's a solid healer. We need to scoop him up before somebody else does. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But in this game, you could be a real shitty DPS and won't nobody know because guess what? They're not even on your server. You don't know who this dude is. He doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
any reputation. You're just praying that this guy knows how to breathe and press buttons at the same time.
And then you have to worry about the tank wanting to pull the whole dungeon at
Hmm.
once,
Yeah.
and then get mad because they weren't healed.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, I would never have been a healer because I needed to be in a role that had the least amount of responsibility and
Hmm.
that I could screw up.
Yeah.
So I was, yeah, the mage is that'll work. Even though uh people say that they like it better now, but I liked it better back then when you were able to, you know,
Yeah, but the people who playing it now are like the younger generation, right? We're not
yeah, we're
and we're not
different.
the people playing. Like we wanted that whole social aspect. The kids nowadays, they don't care about that. They just want the loot. They want to get in, get the loot, and go about their business. So they could care less about whether you got a good reputation or if you know the people on your server or
They
saying
just want
this
to know, have you
clan is
done the
better
fight?
than that clan. Yeah, it's like, do you know the fight? How's your loot looking? What's your loot score? You know what I'm saying? Let's get this fat loot, y'all.
Yeah,
You know.
because there was a time when you were trying to join a group and they whisper you and like link your achievements.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What's your IO
Uh
score?
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, now it's just like, man, if you're just hoping and praying that your DPS knows what they're doing. Like, and that was something like when we were playing together. They had dogged me out in that clan that we was in, because they was like, "Oh, your gear isn't as good as this hunter over here." Because I was playing like me when I was playing with her, I was playing a hunter just so we could just like level real fast, and they was dogging my character out, saying like, "Oh, he's not good for this raid because his gear is low, whatever." And so like they were gonna invite her, the person who doesn't know how to play for real, over invited me, who's like, what I'm saying, semi-pro, you know. But then something happened where they ended up inviting me to the raid along with her. And so like I get into the raid and I'm doing like half the damage of the whole entire raid.
He
It
was
was like ridiculous.
top
You
on the
know what I'm
DPS
saying?
for me.
I not only was I top, I was like doing 50% of all the damage being done. And like I said, the guys was like, "Whoa, we didn't know that." What I'm saying, you could pump out like they had a hunter in their clan that was like supposed to be their veteran hunter, and he didn't have a rotation as clean as my rotation because, like I said, I was smoking that dude, and they was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, maybe you need to get online with this dude." and show him what you're doing, and hopefully he can get his numbers up, because I'm like destroying the DPS meter. So yeah,
But
but like I said, I
the
ain't got
the
time for that no more.
I mean, you've been crippled, so you got time.
Nah, like I said, but it's also like the alternatives now. Like, I'd rather spend my time doing something else other than doing MMOs, you know what I'm saying? Because that is a commitment. Like, that's not a, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, like, one of the good things about like playing a game like Diablo is like you can just jump on for like 10, 15 minutes, an hour. Like, if you got a short amount of time, you can still jump on, do a little something, something, and then you can jump back off, you know what I'm saying? But like, I remember, like, once again, when WoW first came out, before you started playing, I was playing a main tank. And like, I had to be at every raid all the time. And if I wasn't going to make the raid, I had to give my account information to somebody so they can log in as me to play my character. Like, that was how hardcore, what I'm saying, I used to run back in the days. And like I said, I ain't got that type of time no more. I ain't got the time nor energy to. And like I said, I know it's not even close to like that now, but even
Mm.
still, just the idea of like, man, I'm gonna have to do all of this stuff just so I can do all the fun stuff. Like, now I'd rather just play something like Diablo, where I can just jump on, kill a couple of dudes, get some loot, and log off.
Well, the culture has definitely changed, and they are Blizzard players are assholes.
Everybody's assholes.
No, no, no,
Like,
no, 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 no. The
oh, see,
Blizzard is it's a special type of ass.
no, no, no. Cause see, like I said, you're not. I mean, like I said, you play games, but you're not a true gamer. I
I'm
can
not.
tell you the worst experience I've ever had was this game called Lost Ark, which is kind of like a clone. Well, it's kind of like, what if Diablo and World of Warcraft combined together or something like that.
I think I've seen
Like,
some nerds playing it.
yeah, okay, like that had the worst. Like, it was so bad, I quit playing just because of the community. Like, that's the first game I ever quit because of the community. Like, I like, the game was only out for like a week, and they was like, well, the big thing is that the game came out in Korea first, so like the game had been out in Korea for like a year or two. So, like I said, the people who played the Korea client, they kind of knew what was going on. They knew all the fights and this, that, and the other. But then when it came over to America, you know, and like the Americans was trying to like play the game and learn the fights and all the stuff like that. They was so elite that they was like, yo, this game has only been out for like a week or two, and they are talking bad about like how bad, like, you don't know the fights and you ain't got this gear and this, that. I'm like, dude, game just came out 2 weeks ago, and I like put the game down and didn't and hadn't played it since. You know. Like, that was literally the worst community I had ever been in. Like, they were so elite over there, I couldn't even deal with it. You know.
Well, the Blizzard is my community of elite
Yeah.
assholes. Now, in the community in Diablo, they're nicer than the
Yeah.
community at WoW.
Yeah, because like I said, most of that is just solo dudes anyway. Like, yeah, you might group up with some people from time to time, but you're mostly just solo. And like, that game is built so that you can almost do whatever and still get as far as you can in that game. Like, unless you're that type of player where you just have to have the max men of everything, you know, um, you're not gonna be an asshole about it, because, like I said, just about any setup could do just about anything in that game. Like, unless you're just pushing the end of the very end of the content, it really doesn't matter what you're doing there. As long as you're pressing buttons, you're doing fine. But like, we started this off as a horror contest,
Yeah,
a horror video, and we just switched over to video games. It's gonna have to be a different video for that, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah. We won't
especially
bore
me, I
y'all.
can go on that for hours because I'm just a video
Mhm.
game nerd. So
You did not speak to Munchkin.
he knows how I feel about him, and he feels the same way about me. So we're perfectly fine. Like I said,
Please
I
help me
walk
out.
through that door, that dog doesn't stop barking until I leave. So, like I said, the feeling's mutual.
Don't
Hmm.
be that way, Uncle Mike.
Hmm.
Don't be that
Yeah.
way. I
All
love
right.
you.
All right. Let me walk through that door. And then, like I said, yeah, that dog ain't gonna stop barking until I leave.
Mm-hmm.
So the
He's
feeling's mutual,
spoiled.
buddy.
He's so spoiled.
Hmm.
He
You
thinks
got a
he's
good
human.
mama. You
He
got a
does.
good mama.
He does.
Hmm.
So let me see how smart he is. So in the morning time, I will go and groggily go to make my coffee and let Munchkin go potty.
Hmm.
So the door is kind of cracked a little bit, but I'm doing my thing and I'm kind of looking to see if I can see Paisley at the door. So
Hmm.
he has figured out an angle where to stand to see me over in the kitchen behind the by the coffee maker. So
Hmm.
he was looking like that, and then I walked the door. That's when he came to the door. I said, "This little booger is smart.
Uh-huh.
He
So
is smart.
yeah, he alright.
He's
He
smarter than you."
alright. Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Look, he would come to your job and out cute everybody.
Well, luckily my job ain't don't have to deal with my cuteness, so I'm good. I'm
I can get him uh, one of those golf shirts that y'all wear, or
good. Hmm.
or uh, the blue mock neck shirt with the little zipper. That's what
Hmm.
y'all computer nerds wear.
Yeah, yeah,
You know the IT people. Oh, IT, yeah, that's all
yeah.
IT. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Y'all a special little group.
Well, it takes a special group to deal with stuff we got to deal with. So
Hmm.
yeah. Hmm.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and call it. Um, thank you, Mike, for coming up and talking about Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Hmm.
Um, I may want to continue doing these.
Yeah. I told you, like I said, I ain't got no social life for real. So you just let me know whatever you want to talk about, whenever you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. Like I said, we started talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and now we had started talking about WoW. So what I'm saying, it don't matter to me, whatever the subject is. Your boy got an opinion on it. So, you know.
Well, I'm not going to do you dirty and say the
Mhm.
Hellraiser franchise.
I mean, like if that's what you want to do, I'll do it. Cause like I said, if you want me to
I'm
watch
not
some
sure.
shitty
I'm
movies,
not
so
sure you're going to find the movies.
yeah, what I'm saying. Like I said, I don't mind shitting on a movie, especially one I don't like. What I'm saying. There's probably like a handful of movies I probably wouldn't watch, but for the most part, I would watch. Just about anything,
Well,
especially if it's
since we
like
did Nightmare, let's do Friday the 13th.
we could do Friday the 13th. But the big problem with Friday the 13th is that like, what I'm saying, the plots to those movies are like super simple because it's just like, oh yeah, Jason's gonna kill some people. But like what makes those movies cool is that like the kills. And like that was the reason why that series resonated with me was because it was all about what I'm saying, the crazy ways that he killed people. Because, like, yeah, just about every movie is like, oh, yeah, these kids are at this camp and they're having sex. So, guess what? All of them got to die now.
All of them.
Yeah. So,
Like,
like I said,
why do they keep coming? Why? Why do they keep coming to Camp Blood?
oh, also, hey, one of those movies, they changed the name of the camp. So, they didn't know that was Camp Crystal Lake. Although the camp is in the exact same place that Camp Crystal Lake is at. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, this is one of those. Even Mike's like, yo, that's dumb as shit right there.
Yeah, I
uh,
loved definitely the first three of the 13th are
mhm.
the best.
Yeah.
I think four is okay, but the one where Corey Haim is in,
Mm-hmm.
That's when I lose steam. I start to be like,
Yeah.
let's not
Well,
do
like I
this.
said, I have an affinity to those movies, so I like the bulk of them. Like I said,
Mhm.
even the stupid ones I like. So I'm going to be hella biased. But like I said, I think that's one that we definitely gonna have to break up into because, like
Yeah.
I said, there's 10 of those movies, and I don't think you want to talk about all 10 of them. But then again, like I said, it's really gonna be more about us talking about like the kills and stuff in them versus like
Hmm.
what's actually happening in the movies because nobody cares about what happens in the movie. It's about like how the kids get killed, or at least that's how
Or,
I look at
or we could do the Halloween and then pick the Thorn timeline,
it.
and then we could do the the new timeline.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, if we do that, you're gonna have to tell me which movies to watch because I have no idea at this point. They're all just to me, they're all Halloween movies. So, you know what I'm saying? I know it's something like one and two, and then you like have to skip about 4 or 5 movies to get to the next set of movies in that line, and then you have to go back and then watch the alternative ones and stuff.
Halloween is
So
they really overcomplicated that one.
yeah, yeah,
It was so good just to have a dude in a mask with a knife
yeah.
killing babysitters.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Yeah. So like I
Perfect.
said, you have to be like, okay, here's what's on the menu. It's 1, 2, and then like 7, 8, and 10 or something like
So
whatever it is.
this is
You know what I'm
not
saying?
difficult. This is not difficult. Uh,
Uh-huh.
you would do 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of the Jamie Lloyd timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have H2O, which I guess
Mm-hmm.
is sort of like a standalone because it negated 4, 5, and 6 because
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lloyd was Lori's daughter. But then in H2O, she has a son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So you got that 2O, and then Jason X, I guess. No, Jason X. I'm sorry, I'm Halloweening. Um, then and that was the last one that the dude that played Loomis was in. I think the
Mm-hmm.
next thing you'll have the Lord. Hold on.
Yeah. So like I said, we're gonna have to do some homework to see how that shakes down.
Halloween franchise. I just want to see. Oh God. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Resurrection.
uh-huh.
Okay, so it's 1 and 2, 4, 5, 4 and 5.
Uh-huh.
Then you have H2O, which is a
Mm-hmm.
standalone. Then
Okay.
there's Resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me take that back. H2O and Resurrection are part of it, but they're also kind of not part of it too.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, and so then so then you have the Rob Zombie Halloween 1 and 2. And
uh-huh.
then you go to the Halloween in 2018, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. So like I said, yeah, you're gonna have to give me the movies I'm gonna have to watch for that one because like I said, that wasn't the franchise I was up on. And so like I said, yeah, you're gonna have to give me the list of like what we're gonna be tackling on that one. So
I mean, that
yeah.
is a, oh, and they even have an infographic illustrating the continuity between the Halloween films. That's a shame. And I was
Mhm.
right. So 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. That's all part of that one continuity. And so then after Halloween 2, then it starts H2O and then Resurrection.
Mhm.
That's part of that continuity. Then
Yeah.
you have Halloween 1978, the original, and it goes
Mm-hmm.
immediately to Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. So it's uh the three branches. When you were diagramming diagramming sentences back in school, and you got the
Yeah. With
yeah,
yeah, and
the
then
spaceship
yeah,
looking
uh-huh.
thing.
Yeah.
So then they have Season of the Witch by itself, and then of
Yeah.
course you have the Zombie 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so we have a plan on what to tackle. So we do the Halloween, the Thorn, Jamie Lloyd stuff. Then it's one,
Mm-hmm.
2, 4, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we do the next continuity where Jamie Lloyd does not exist and she has a son, then you go from 1 and 2, then to H2O, and then Resurrection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh,
Interesting.
all right. So yeah,
That's interesting.
just let me know when you want to tackle that, and we'll do our best to wrangle that beast on in. Cause Lord, that sounds like a big old mess right there. Sounds like a big
Hmm.
old mess.
I don't know. Do you want to? We might just put the Halloween. We gonna mill
No,
that one
I
over.
say let's do Halloween because here's the thing. Like I said, I've already said that's one that I sort of just, checked out on. So this will give me an excuse to like go back and see why I checked out on it. Because like I said, the we already know that Friday the 13th greatest slash franchise of all time. So we don't necessarily have to dig on that, but we can if we want to. But like I said, the Halloween will give me an excuse to actually watch those movies and pay attention to those movies. And that seems to be the one that you like because you keep coming back to it. So let's just go ahead
I
and knock it out the
I
box.
love all of them. I love all slashers. I
Hey,
love
it's just
Michael.
like your kids. Yeah, you love all of them, but you know that there's that one. You know what I'm saying? That like, hey, what I'm saying? You love all your kids, but there's that one.
I mean, I did take off work to on Friday the 13th to watch. Yes, I
uh-huh.
was like, it was Friday the 13th. I am taking that day off, and I am watching
Hmm.
all of them.
Yeah. So like I said, let's go ahead and just go ahead and knock this Halloween stuff out. Like I said, I'm just gonna need a little help with it. So you gonna have to let me know what I need to watch and what I'm saying, which ones go with what.
I
And we'll be
just told you.
I know, but I'm saying you probably
I
gonna
got
have to put that in
it
writing so I
right.
can, like I said,
Okay,
I need the chart so I can understand it.
I'll send you a screenshot of the chart.
Uh-huh. So yeah, so like I said, we'll tackle that. You just let me know when you want to do it. Just like
Okay,
always, what I'm saying, you just let me know. I'm down for it.
all right. Well, I thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for coming. I always
Mm-hmm.
enjoy our talks.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying. But like I said, it don't matter what you want to talk about. You put me on, I talk about anything because I'm just an opinionated bastard. So
Well, if you want to come in tomorrow, because tomorrow's my little party here. So
yeah, I might swing by. Like I said, I ain't doing nothing else. So I might drop in, just say hey to the peoples and whatnots.
okay, nice.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
All right, y'all. I am about to go ahead and cut it here. Make sure that you all um, share the stream and make sure you smash that like button. Whether you just come in for a minute or you leave you a like button. It help me in the algorithms. All right, guys. I'm gonna thank you so much for coming. And the last thing that I'm going to say is drums, please.
Drums, please.
Ladies and